Hello and welcome to DC30 and our Mythic Odyssey of Theros, D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I am your Dungeon Master, Romeo, and I am joined tonight, as I am with any other night, by Ali, Morse, Tamara, Rebecca, Virla, Sammy, and Violet, as ever, just with her new job, will be, teensy bit late, but will be joining us, I believe. How is everybody this evening?
Yeah, very good.
Wunderbar.
We get to sell all our elite loot.
I'll begin tonight with I don't know about announcement, but a shout out. I won't be on the main thing, but I'll be participating in the after party, so to speak. But our friends over at St. Pete by Night will be streaming their Elysium campaign, or their Elysium stream this evening. So do go over and check that out. It starts at what time, Rebecca?
I think it's in the middle of our stream, 12:30
12
PST.
It's usually after the fact. It's about 10 o'clock GMT, 12:30, I think.
1:30? Yeah, 1:30. Yeah, 12:30 is when it's on the server, and then 1:30 online. Maybe.
Okay, be in the tail end of our stream, but yeah, do check them out, lurk them out, whatever needs to be. They do good stuff. That is my main announcement. That's all I really need to. Hello, Tina. Sorry to say. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Just saying hi to my friend Tina. That's the main thing I am about. Does anybody have anything they wish to bring up, or should we get straight stuck in? Okay, then let's begin tonight's episode of our Mythic Odyssey of Theros. And we are back. So, last we left off, Tempest, you had managed to successfully slay the horrific dragon Astraphus, the Armada's bane, avenging Xanthia's family, and saving many lives in future, but as well finally obtaining Matizi, the repository of Medamai, your fourth piece of divinity, this one belonging to Bithynia. You descended into the remnants of the dragon's lair, and after let's say false positive that involved a lot of tentacles with the first horde, you finally chanced upon not just the dragon's horde ultimately and eventually and all the good deeds it contained, but you also made a startling new discovery. There are dragons in other parts of the world, and they are markedly different from the ones that call Theros home. A metallic sheen of copper scales adorned this creature, and it seemed far more benevolent than any dragon you'd ever seen before. Nonetheless, it excused itself to enjoy its freedom, and as aforementioned, you ultimately came across the Blue Dragon's treasure trove and all the various items that it contained. And that's where we come to now. Now I'll get the Blue Dragon Lair ambience going again just for the spookiness of it. I'm curious if you guys have been DMing each other behind my back trying to debate who gets what, or if it's gonna, or if we're gonna have that battle royale between Botch, Amalia, and Xanthia.
No, there's going to be who comes second after Botch between, Xanthia and Amalia.
Hello, I checked the belt out, so it's currently in my hands. Just saying.
Listen,
Botch,
all I've got to say is,
not rule out
Xanthia, you
the-
have to
go ahead.
sleep at some point.
I can sleep underwater, bitch.
Botch, I would not rule out the explosive power of that trident.
We'll see.
That reminds me, we need to update its item description to reflect the tweak we made. I'll do that at some point. You remember what it was, Tamara?
Yeah, vaguely. It was 2 weeks ago. though,
The
right?
Steam Blast ability no longer requires a separate saving throw. It'll be
Yeah,
tied into the
yeah.
first saving throw, so it'll be an all or nothing in terms of whether half damage is taken or all damage is taken.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure. Yeah.
Just seemed like an unnecessary extra point of failure. Even like the benefits of getting to do full damage with a separate saving throw outweigh how shitty it's gonna feel if you fail the first saving throw but succeed on the second one.
Yeah.
Paladins are very all or nothing, so I thought I'd put it in keeping with that. All right, so Tempest, you've counted your coins and you've identified your items, but you still remain. What are you doing?
I think after going through like all of the cool items that we found in the horde with everyone, I think Xanthia still doesn't exactly look content or even like at ease. So I think she would just go back to searching for anything she might have missed. Potentially also go back to the alcove where Scotty found that creepy severed monster head.
Yeah, that's probably most likely where
Okay.
you see Scatino's still continuing to try and I've now emptied my water skin, so I'm now using pretty much any receptacle I've got to just acquire stuff. So it's and I'm probably at this point like my hands are caked in like purplish reddish blood, and like I look a little bit more monstrous than usual.
I can tell you guys exactly what Scotty looks like. So picture this. I'll put it on the visuals board. But with monster blood. Hang on.
But yeah, so as you kind of come through, I'll kind of look over to you, and amid the massive just reddish purplish thing, and my hair has kind of started to matte a little bit as well. But then I kind of grin between that. It's probably like the only bit of white you see
Wait a minute.
on me at the moment. As I kind of get to go around to it.
Okay. Like as Xanthia walks past you, she just like waves her hand and just prestidigitates you to look a little bit cleaner, at least in the face area. And
Oh, thanks.
she
And like within seconds, it's already gone.
Sorry, I think at Legend Keeper
you
put in a
do.
new update where you can't Oh, okay. So the Legend Keeper added a new update where you can add multiple pages to one thing. So that's weird. You can't put text on the first one. That's fine. Okay, so visuals. Yeah, so picture that, but with monster blood.
perfect.
Okay, continue.
But yeah, I think Xanthia would just like start going through whatever she can find there, and like more or less frantically looking for anything that looks familiar or Triton in origin, or alternatively anything that looks like might hold information like books, records, parchment, I
Amongst
don't know.
the monstrous guts and sinew.
Yeah, I mean she hasn't found anything in the horde so far, right?
What were you looking for, exactly?
Anything that looks either familiar or like it's Triton in origin or might hold any kind of information.
Make an investigation check.
Sure thing. Oh,
I'll give you guidance.
dice work. Good idea. Yeah, that's a very strong natural 4.
Hard to tell. There's not much of anything here, actually. I'll say, make a separate intelligence check.
Sure.
DC's not terribly high on this one. Weirdly enough, a low roll is in your favor here. Well, at least on the first part.
Rolled a natural 16, so a total of 16.
Succeeds. So, you see discarded horse carcasses here that don't have saddles. And you very clearly can tell, because the manes have been cut short. This was not a wild creature. This was a beast of burden. There are no saddles, not even, the most you find is, leather scraps and things like that. The, bodies of, you can tell were soldiers because some of them are still holding broken weapons. The, armor seems to be missing, the dead everything here looks picked clean.
Mm-hmm.
You surmise this may have been more of a pantry than it was a repository.
Okay. Can I go back to the Horde and just make sure that I didn't miss anything there?
You definitely didn't miss anything in the Horde. There is also the main nest. And there's one other alcove, but the final alcove looks like it contains a hot spring. Or, no, sorry, the opposite of a hot spring, like a cool spring. Like a underground spring. Which I presume Botch cannonballs into, and it's quite nice and refreshing.
It's quite tasty. Are we loading Foundry at all?
Not at this time. I'm going to try to keep it closed when it's not go time to save on bandwidth.
Okay. Fair enough.
Eventually, Scatinus will return to the group, looking a little bit like looking a little bit like a smaller version of his blood elemental, to be honest. We'll kind of look and go, so what goodies have we found?
Who are you addressing that to?
Oh, anyone. I'm just curious. I mean, I've got quite a lot of the stuff I'm happy with. I'm just wondering if you found anything good.
So I'll see Scotty coming in, and then I will address him and show, point out to each person who's kind of gone in their own ways. Bacchus, I guess, in the pool. But and then she'll list the different items. It seems that we've got, this breastplate, and then we've got these flask things over here, and she's got her book that she's been writing in, and so she's trying to flip back and forth to figure out what these things are, but also write them down, catalog them on her own, because she doesn't have any of them on her, or she's just kind of standing there. So, and what did you find? Anything interesting?
Well, this there's not really much I can do with this now. I mean, if I somehow manage to get most of this in good condition to Melite's, I think Penelope might have a field day. But at the moment, I'm just salvaging raw materials, really. Do you mention the Dragon's Horde tome?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, she would.
That could be useful for getting some stuff across, because I don't know how much we're going to be able to fit in the boat.
I'll point out as well that I didn't mention this, Lowe's, and I forgot about this last time, but it does say on the item description there's a weight limit of 25 pounds per page.
I've seen that. Yep, I've seen. But if we could amass, I mean, would the hoard of coins, how many coins is 25 pounds worth, and we could move some of the currency that way, so it's not so heavy to move.
That's true. We could also, I mean, I don't want to say that we have to take it all. We could potentially give some of it to the villagers that we came through with.
Sorry, Bithynia, what are you talking about? Give it to the village. What? I don't understand this word. I don't understand. What are we talking about? We earned this gold.
I mean, it's possible, yeah, but it's also possible that it was theirs first and that it was taken from them. It wasn't ours to begin with.
But it's ours now.
As much as we can hold and as much as we can carry.
Challenge accepted. And I just...
Yeah, I'll watch.
So I just
Laden Prod,
okay.
thank you for the follow.
Hey.
I beg your pardon, Scotinus, but you mentioned an individual, the name Penelope, I believe. Who is she?
Oh, she... I don't know if you may not have met her, actually. You haven't
I don't believe I have.
She is the potion maker in Melodies, and has been my mentor for some time. Gave me all the books that have been teaching me potion making while we've been on the sea, as it were. She is a devotee of Farika and raw materials that could be tested, investigated to see what they could, what powers they could create as a form of worship. Plus, I'm kind of curious to see what I can do with them myself.
And she'll look over at Dolisa and say, "Do you remember that flower I was looking for on the mountain? The cement egg flower thing that I was looking for?
Yes, vaguely.
That was for Penelope."
Oh, you also know Penelope? And what is Penelope to you?
A merchant.
You would know Penelope as well, Dolise. She runs a shop called Sorceress Sundries, which specializes in potions, alchemical concoctions, and that sort of thing, herbalism.
She's quite handy. She's quite well versed when it comes to herbs and making things that are useful. And so don't always ask her what the things are that she needs, but I know that from one individual Melodies to another who doesn't get out to adventuring, when things come to you, it's much appreciated. So I always have the carry nature to bring things back that I think that she might find use of, because I know that she wouldn't be able to necessarily get out and get these items on her own, but could more than likely make something useful for those within Melodies that come by.
That is very kind of you, my bee. And now that you both speak of her, I do seem to recall her a little bit, but obviously you are both more familiar than I am. Is she on her own?
Most of the time. Whenever I'm in Melodies, I tend to work alongside. I have a little corner desk, which was once adorned with the same things that I have on this now, showing that the horn that Hilira made. I think that I imagine that desk is still there. Although I've been away a while, so you might have repurposed it for something else. But I cannonball into the water to join Barkios because I ruined the water.
Oh
man.
Bastard! Oh my god, it's like a tampon commercial in here.
God, why? Angry Damsel, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
I mean, Angry Damsel, I'm sorry that you had to follow in that moment, and if it makes you feel better, I genuinely feel bad about that one.
Good. Jesus.
I look bad and I should feel bad.
Yep. Yeah, I'm washing off while everyone else chooses what else about to say. Was there anything else that we were going to try and take with us, or do we have a way to get the stuff, or we should probably check in on our crew at some point and get out of here?
That too. And did we want to try to have a second ship to bring some of the stuff back, or?
We'd have to find a second crew, wouldn't we?
Wouldn't hurt to bring. I mean, if we're
Some
going
might
to
want
bring
to
some
come,
of
I
these
suppose.
individuals back, maybe they'd want to find safe harbor in Melodies.
I guess so. I have no idea how easy it is to man. I mean, you're the captain, and I don't know how easy it is to become a commodore. But if you think we can manage multiple ships on the sea, then sure.
I feel like step one to becoming a commodore is you need a really big hat. You know, really
but then
good
we'll
hat
start
with a
looking
massive
around.
feather.
Just like looking around the horde.
Big
All right. We have not found one of those here yet, but sure, you know.
Well, we can take as much as we can back to the village. We probably don't want to tell our satyr friend if he's sticking around or not. But whoever you want to tell, we can tell. It's a bit of a journey to get up here. They have to be able to do a bit of climbing. So there is that, I suppose. But
I'll point out as well, there is still that one corridor in this lair that's towards the entrance, which is completely worked stone. It looks like completely unearthed Cassandoran ruin, and it's as pristine as a ruin can be. But it's not like everything else has been relatively fragmented. This looks relatively intact. This looks like whatever building this was, at least as far down the corridor as you can see, survived.
Can I go check it out?
Yeah, sure.
I will spend some time just washing, and then I'll join the group in like 10 minutes later.
It's a long corridor, 100 feet easily, with these large pillars framing it. You travel down it once, and there's about 3 different paths to your left, and 2 to your right as you travel down this corridor.
Mm-hmm. I go right.
The first right?
Yeah.
Okay. You push through the door, and you enter This in particular looks like right angle room. Is it like a branch in a corridor? Is it like a right angle section of a corridor? There's it almost looks like a small common room slightly. There were like stone tables that have been re-erected and stuff like that, but there's a door ahead of you and a door to your immediate right.
Right again.
Right again? Okay. 2 seconds. Just pulling something up. And you push through this door. You see a huge sarcophagus standing tall against the wall. It bears the same marks of ruin. Time and calamity have worn away the detailing on the coffin. Save for a script that is visible just around it in sort of sporadic places.
Can I read it?
You cannot.
Okay. I think I'll make my way back to the group and get someone who's a little bit smarter than I am.
I was gonna say Dolisa would have went with you.
Okay.
Oh.
She wouldn't have been doing anything else, so.
Okay. Do you automatically read everything, or do you need? You probably have the spells to do it. I'm just wondering if you have an automatic feature, or if you need to cast a spell.
No, I don't have an automatic feature, and I don't think I can. I think I have to. It has to be spoken language for me to understand.
Oh, you don't have comprehended languages? Okay, my mistake.
No.
I
Unless
have
it's-
comprehend languages.
Yeah, unless it's already in a script I can read.
Can I read it?
Yeah. You cast comprehend languages. It is an ancient Cassandoran. And it describes a life of heroic deeds, an impossible journey across an ocean. There's not a whole lot has remained intact, but the bits you do describe all of those things. Hilira, some of these stick out to you, so it's just like, it is familiar. And you describe them, it's starting to ring a bell in more than one person's ear and head. Hilira, make a history check, just because you're the only one who can read the whole thing that you can see.
Ready? Oh, my dice have been betraying me lately. Okay. I'm pretty good at history. Okay, don't fail me. Oh, I threw that out of my tray. Dice jail! Immediate dice jail.
No parole.
Some pancakes
What
would
did
taste
you
good
do
right
to
about
your
now, is all that
dice?
pops into your head.
I just imagine how kissing Xanthia felt.
Ooh.
Moist.
No, that's a plan we have.
Oh my goodness. But you're a bad influence on this group, and I love it. What is everybody else doing?
I'm guessing that I'm still back there because it's. Is it just me, Bakios, who were left in the lair?
Scotty's still.
Scotty's.
Scotty's, yeah.
I'm going to keep writing out, like, in my book, I'm going to be drawing a map of, like, what I think dimensions are and, like, this layer. I've been keeping track as we go of, like, the island, because there wasn't anything in the history books before we got here. So I'm going to be mapping out in my little book, trying to figure out, if I can keep track or otherwise have some way of identifying all of this area from when we get back.
Okie dokie.
So, just to describe this room again, you said there was a sarcophagus and it's engraved in ancient Cassadoran writing.
Yeah. The actual, so the sarcophagus itself is meant to depict the figure inside of it. It's sort of that kind of shape. But time and calamity have just worn away the actual detailing on it.
And
I
there's
would
no-
like to-
Oh, sorry. There's
No,
no
you go ahead.
nameplate or anything like that?
Not that you can, not that you can see. But it is scrolled with stuff that seems to depict, seems to describe, from what Helena says to you, certain fables that this subject may have undertaken. It talks about a journey across a sea that lasted a very long time.
Can I take a closer look at the coffin to just make sure that it's actual stone or whatever material it is and not just
Yes, it is.
an illusion?
Yeah. This one's
Okay.
not an illusion. It's so the illusion, the stuff that was illusory glamorized looked beautiful, like it wasn't ruined. This looks ruined.
Okay.
So, as Helena reads this out, could I make a check to kind of jog my memory? Maybe I've heard about this.
Make a history check.
Yeah. Guide myself.
I believe in you.
Okay, that's pretty good. And then D4. 17.
Nice.
It hits you like a truck. This is the coffin of Calafe.
Ooh.
Her final resting place was never found. Her entire fable is one of traveling multiple years, and by her wits and her intellect and her power alone, navigating the dangers of the Siren Sea to come home. Calafe is the Theros equivalent of Odysseus.
Well, don't want to disturb this hero's resting place, so maybe we should continue on. I think there were some more corridors that we could follow.
Okay.
You go on ahead. I want to check something out.
Alone?
Yeah, why not? You guys go on ahead. It's fine. I've got this.
Are you sure? Do you want me to stay with you?
No,
If
you
this
crack
is
on.
another trap, like in the underwater cavern with vampires, like, don't say we didn't warn you.
What's a trap? What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything.
Sure.
What are we doing?
Don't worry about it.
I trust that smile. We're fine. Let's go.
So I'm waiting for them to go because I want to pop this sarcophagus open.
I'm waiting for you in the doorway, arms crossed.
I would like to, before I make any kind of attempt, I would like to make a quick perception check to see if anyone's watching me. That's a 5.
As far as
you
you
roll stealth.
Yeah.
I rolled
Yeah.
a natural 15.
Yeah.
I rolled a 28 and Delise is still there watching you.
Okay, coast looks clear. Let's do this. I would like to walk up to the sarcophagus and try to shove it open.
Make a strength check.
Hell yeah! Now we're cooking. Oh god, what's my new strength? Static strength. Oh, it's just straight strength.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, natural 20 for 25.
You just pick up the whole sarcophagus and smash it on the ground.
So you don't know if people can see you, but you don't care. You're getting in.
You literally just pick up the entire thing. It's an almost sarcophagus. For someone like you, Botch, at this point in time, you can just lift it off. And that's what stops you from breaking it. You are so strong you can just literally lift it off and you put it down gently.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Bosh. What's inside?
Bones.
Oh, nothing. No treasure, no gold, no jewels.
Just bronze armor worn away to green corroded ruin. Just a body.
Okay.
And Botch, even you may not have much regard for Milesian heroes, but even you know
Milesians
Kalafe.
even have any heroes?
Could they have Kalafe?
Rude.
And even you recognize and respect the tale of Kalafe, and you know the make of her armor, how it's depicted in murals and the like. This is her.
Okay. In my petulance and disappointment of the lack of any treasure, I would like to put the sarcophagus lid back on, but upside down.
Do you have no shame at all?
Are you saying this to me above table
In
or
character.
in character?
Xanthia pops her head back in like, huh.
Well, the way I imagine this, Tamara, is what would happen if, Three Stooges style. I've got this thing up, on my shoulder, and I turn around, and you'll step by behind me, and I might have to knock you out with it.
Botch, Constitution saving throw, just in
good.
case.
Okay. That's a 24, sir.
Cool, you do not develop a hernia.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no shame.
It's not made of
Me.
styrofoam, just be aware. It's...
But yeah, I put the sarcophagus lid on upside down, and I just walk away.
Does Amalia see any of this?
Did she go with,
I imagine she probably has travelled with the group, but I haven't been, so I don't know whether or not she would have seen the buckle at the end of it, or would have then come across and realised, or have been told who it was.
Okie dokie. Yeah, in that case I'll say yeah.
Then what Amalia will probably do, once all of that is done, she won't bother moving the thing, but then when everyone leaves, she's going to kneel down by the sarcophagus, and then she's going to make a prayer to Erebos to make sure that the soul did in fact make it past the river Styx.
The River Tartix, but yes. Very good. And it is well received. And I will, await Violet to, go into detail about that.
Yeah,
but,
she's going to be there for the time being.
Okay.
As we walk back towards wherever the fuck Buckyos just went, Hilaria will just turn. I feel like Delisa and Hilaria are just arms crossed standing next to one another, and she'll go, Marian Akron, they said. Best warriors there are, they said. Intelligence. We don't care. She just walks away. Following Buckyos.
Harsh. Okay, so which is the next door that you were traveling down?
The one straight ahead, still in the first right, the common room.
Okay. You step through into this one. And you see another small vault-like room, similar to the first one. This small room is actually mostly bare. Save for three things that are in, their own alcoves on each of the walls. To the left, you see, a large glass tank. It looks like one of those Grecian urns, like the big ones that they store, but made entirely out of glass. Basically, look like a Bacta tank. It's full of yellow liquid. And make a perception check, Xanthia.
That's a strong natural 5 for a total of 6.
There's a couple dozen.
Nice, Jail.
There's a few dozen strange little fish swimming inside of it. To your immediate right, you see hovering on a pedestal, a wicked, twisted, alien-looking sword that almost has like a double back pattern to it. It's very unusual. And on the far wall, you see another one of these tanks. This one is filled with a effervescent blue liquid. And inside of it, you see, clearly dead, for it's obviously missing its lower half. Guts are sort of like free. There's no blood anymore, but the guts are sort of freely floating in this tank. A mind-bending creature. A humanoid in appearance, but with horrific, dark, purple, almost black, sinewy skin. Where its head should be. Sort of, it almost had like it looks like those deep, it reminds you, Xanthia, of deep sea tritons. The ones that sort of like have longer limbs and are a bit more strange and slender. Except this one has what looks to be a menacing octopus's head. With 4 sort of tentacles where its mouth should be instead of 8. Just sort of freely floating. There's sort of like suction thing in the back of its head. Like the sack. Eyes like closed. As in like, oh sorry, no, eyes open and clearly dead. Then whited over. But this sort of like humanoid squid.
How
Or
large
the top
is
half of
that
it.
tank / the creature?
The size of the tank that held Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Yeah, Xanthia will just stop in front of the tank for a moment and like drop 10 gold pieces inside and just do a quick prayer to Thassa.
You would all, if you all see this, you would all, yeah. If you all arrived, or followed, you would all see this.
Would Bithynia and and I, if we were at the back, would we have come up at this point and fought?
You could, if you wanted to, yeah.
I think if you've been gone long enough, then yeah, we would have.
Mm-hmm.
So Skutinos and Bithynia are coming up. She would probably nudge him and be like, "What do you think is going on up here?"
I would imagine this is just going to be more stuff that has been acquired and hoarded away. And as we're looking at the vials and stuff, my first thought was those could have been some kind of trap or poison or acid, but there's something in that. I think
there's something in the yellow one as well. There seem to be these tiny
that's
little
what.
fish.
Yeah. See, because those are moving, so there's definitely And I will enter the room and peer at the fish.
Make a perception check. Not a very high DC.
18.
Upon closer inspection, they're unlike any fish you've ever seen. They look almost more like a cross between, like, tadpoles, but with, like, the mouth of a leech.
And they're still alive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I gotta put my finger against the glass and see if they react.
Do you gently rest it, or do you tap?
Probably gently tap. Gently, yeah, finger, and then if nothing happens, then I'll tap.
You tap and they sort of seem to gather around the finger for a second when you tap it.
Yeah, we don't want to be in that vial, I don't think.
No. Have you seen things like that before?
No, but I am wondering whether or not that vial is more or less than 25 pounds.
I was thinking the same thing. It'd be an interesting specimen to take back.
It's much more than 25 pounds.
Right. I have no containers left to carry.
To be clear, it's not a vial. It's a tank.
It's a tank, yeah. Is it an open top tank?
No.
Okay. How's it sealed?
Some kind of like almost you know those like those types of cans, like a paint tin, kind of like a, or like a metal thing.
I mean, there's so much here and there that I don't think we're not going to be able to take everything. We just take as much or whatever we want, and then leave the rest for some other people to investigate. Though I do want to know whether or not that's acid or not.
I think we'd be better off not knowing.
Has anyone tried touching that sword thing yet?
The one that we found.
No, that one on that little alcove, the one that looks like it's doing a loop-de-loop or something with the blade.
I mean, I haven't, but I also...
Part of me wonders that if you touch it, if something happens with these two things.
I have an unseen servant.
Oh, that could work.
Could do that. Also, could identify it. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that could work. That's probably easier, yeah.
But, well, the thing with identify is I'd have to touch it. So...
Oh. It's not, I didn't realise you had to touch.
But I could do unseen servant if we want.
Sure. I'm curious enough.
Okay.
I will
So
back out the room.
Yeah. And so she pulls out the bit of string and wood that she needs for it. And so she's going to create this invisible, I guess, form. It's going to do a simple task, I guess. And so what are we wanting to, like, pull it away or, like, bring it to us, or?
Yeah. I want to see whether or not if it gets picked up, whether or not something happens.
Okay. So I'm guessing Skutinos and Pathina are gonna walk back. And,
unless anyone else wanted to do anything else. I mean, I was just... No.
And so it does take 10 minutes, so it's not going to happen instantaneously, but it's one action plus 10 minutes. But for the sake of time, I'll start doing it.
And you start identifying it? Cool. You touch it, nothing happens. But when you try to identify...
Does it like bring it towards us or like bring it to us?
Oh, it's just floating. Oh, so what were we trying to do?
I was trying to get it to get the sword to us to see if that would like...
And what spell are you using, sorry?
Unseen Servant.
Unseen Servant.
Oh, yeah, no, it can pick it up.
So, okay.
Nothing happens to the Unseen Servant. The sword comes to you guys, no problem.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you want me to try to identify it?
Might as well. So after this, we should probably think about leaving. Otherwise, we'll start moving in.
Okay. Nothing happens, and so you move in.
Oh no, I meant I meant the term as in us physically moving in and living in this cave because we haven't left.
There's still some more corridors, though.
Is there still?
Yeah.
God. Fair enough. I thought we'd found everything.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
We can wait. I can wait with Bithynia while she identifies this. While you go on ahead, then, and then if something attacks you, just start screaming.
Yep. Alrighty. Next corridor.
Okie dokie. The next one, if you're going, so yeah, this is, yeah, I'll say you actually realize that there's one final corridor in this room that actually connects to the next corridor that would have been in the main corridor room. It's sort of like it branches in together, and this one travels down a bit, and this one actually has this longer corridor has 2 on its right side, but if you travel to the far end, there's one path on the left, and you see you travel into it, you see an adjacent little inlet that's you guess Astraphis had been using for her not yet categorized or examined discoveries. It's full of everything from statues, vases, cutlery even. It's just like it's all unearthed. It's not been excavated properly yet.
Perfect. Once again, I'm looking for anything familiar, Triton in origin, or like anything that couldn't contain any information.
Make an investigation check.
Okay, Ducky dies. I believe in you. That's a 9.
Honestly, it just looks like Cassandor and stuff here. There's like busts and like there's nothing. Genuinely, there's nothing shiny here. There's like busts and like furniture. Like this is the less interesting stuff that Astraphos was like, I'll get to it eventually.
For fuck's sake. Okay. Good. Yeah.
The laser comes up behind you and just says, "You look frustrated, darling. I'm assuming that you're wanting to find answers as to why your village was attacked in the first place. Am I right?"
Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make any sense. It was a farming village. Like, dragons are greedy, smart, obviously, whatever. But what could we have possibly have had that could have been of interest to Astraphis? Like, why would she? Like, my hometown, it was so remote, it was underwater, it was so small, so of no real importance. It doesn't make any sense.
Did you guard any coveted treasures or artifacts?
That I'm aware of, no.
You are right, there should be method in her madness.
Yeah. So, there just has to be something. Anything that we've missed so far, and I don't want to leave without, like, just getting at least a little bit more closure or answers, or, I don't know, a clue at least.
I hope so for your sake.
Very well. Next corridor. Okay. You continue to travel. Sorry, 1 second, just getting my bearings on something. Here you actually, yeah, so for the purpose of the burial, I'll say that you, realize after sort of scanning down that the 2 corridors on the right of this longer corridor that branched off the main corridor connect to the same room. Basically all loop towards each other, and they lead to a about 40 by 40 foot square room. This one, you see, is, again, fairly empty, except it has a... well, actually, that's not quite true. You see various different boards, wooden or wax boards, that are covered with sort of glyphage and arcane schematics and different formulae. But what catches your attention is a 40-foot wide... Sorry, no, this is, wide. This is about like a 60-foot room, sorry. It's a 40-foot wide, deep obsidian basin built into the floor. You look over and you scan down it, and you see, along its rim, magical glyphs that are filled in with gold are carved. And it's full of a weird, dark teal plasmic liquid.
That's odd.
Is the liquid like opaque, or is it like semi-translucent like water is?
It looks translucent, but it's dark. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like, you can tell immediately this is a deep... You have no idea how deep it goes. But the liquid itself is semi-translucent, but not on the level of water.
Mm-hmm. We should probably get Scotinos or Bithynia to investigate this further. It's probably more their field.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Can Delisa tell if Xanthir is like very kind of flustered and angry right now?
I think she still looks very tense. Like basically resting bitch face. And still like very like, clutching Atmos like tightly, and just yeah, she's done with this, but like also like she can move on at the moment.
She'll kind of put a hand on your shoulder and just say, I can sense and see your frustrations. May I help a little?
Sorry, I missed, what I miss?
I'll let you describe.
Basically that Xanthia is just like not having a very good time.
Fair.
Emotionally.
Fair. Okay, Scotty, you and Bithynia are approached to about this. What,
Does Bithynia have enough time in that trying to finish doing the identify on the sword?
Oh yeah, no, I was saying, like, I didn't realize you guys were doing it, and I was describing it earlier. You were able to do it. As you try to identify it, it's like trying to open a PDF in VLC. Like, it is just, like, you get back a whole bunch of, like, like, it's not painful or anything, but there is garbled mess as the spell just does not connect properly. You feel a bizarre language in your head. And, like, the spell is just about able to rot a little bit of information just from the chaos that it can't make sense of this completely unknown quantity, and it just about ekes out a rough translation of the name of this item. And it roughly approximates it to Mind Blade.
So she's shaking her head, holding the sword. She'll look at Scotty wide-eyed,
Right.
it's peculiar. It's something I haven't necessarily experienced before. And as she's like marveling at it, she's like curious, quite curious. I definitely, of all the other things, I'm curious about this one the most and would love to keep it. Do you think that would be too bad to want to take it? Maybe there's someone who has better knowledge on this kind of thing. And then as she's holding it, if you want, you can see, I guess, wherever it came from or whoever had it gave it the name Mind Blade.
Is Romeo? Because I think I recognize that name actually. In my.
Do you recognize the other stuff as well out of character?
No, but I think.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
My thought is I don't think if it's what I think it is. I don't know if there's anything that Scottinus would know because
It is, and there isn't.
Yeah, cool, fine. I mean, you could take it back to the university to be studied, I suppose. I don't think anyone's going to mind.
No, it's so much easier to find out what things are when you have a team of individuals being able to look over things, research things, and or use the libraries that we have at our disposal. I have none of which here outside of Tempest, which, while we have quite a bit of informed, upstanding individuals with us, I don't think that anyone else would want to have that static-like experience that I just experienced in pursuit of finding out what it is. But I think it'd be interesting to keep it.
Sure. Are you going to be able to carry it, or do you want it to go in the book?
I think I'm still good on my weight because I have all my gold, but
Did we
Yeah.
did we separate what the gold? Because I have we separated the quantities of the?
No, I mean I keep all my money on me, and I'm
sorry.
carrying 2G worth of gold. So I've already got weight, but and then I've got this huge parchment thing of dragon wing. So I'm kind of loaded, so I want it, but I probably am near capacity. The only thing that I could probably do is pop out my Tensor's floating disc, which can carry and will follow me, and that carries up to 200 pounds, 500 pounds. My Tensor floating disc carries up to 500 pounds. So
That's pretty useful. Okay.
But it's just for a limited time. It's not forever. It's not going to get from here to Melody, so it'll get us in and out of the cave.
On
But
at least, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wears off mid-voyage and the treasure just floop, 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 sinks to the ocean. So yeah, just so
The
that there
dragon
is
turtle can have that.
just so that there is no perplexity on the player's board, this would be an approximation of what it is you see.
With this blade.
No, the creature in the tank.
I can't see anything. This player's board's blank to me.
You-
Oh, there
you-
it is.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So then, yes, now it's all. Yeah. Sweet. Brilliant. Cool.
And it's how big?
It's about the size of just a little bit shorter than Butch.
So it's big. Holy cannoli, that's huge.
Yeah, this is a person. I mean, it's a squid person, but it's a person.
I kind of want to put it in the book. It's only half a person, so it's not going to weigh as much.
You know how much
Alright.
a torso weighs?
I have no concept of weight, both in and out of character. And probably about that time, Delisa comes to us, or gets back to us.
Tell you what, let's make a reasonable comparison. Mind flayers are big. Ali, do you know how much you weigh?
Yes.
Would you be willing to share?
Yes, I am 15 stone, so a good 150 kilos.
Okay. Well, half of that is 75 kilos. Yeah, even if the Mind Flayer was, like, significantly lighter than Ali, it would eclipse 25 pounds.
Unless it's like it goes across multiple pages, like just a really intricate diagram.
I mean,
it's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna try it. It's fine.
Bot still has his axe if you want to just, you know, divvy it up.
We'll come back to it. We'll go and help Xanthia with her fluid problem.
Why? Why would you do that?
I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just
That's not. Yeah, doing anything with that, Ali, is not shooting fish in a barrel. Is dropping a tactical nuke on a box of carp.
So yes, just disregarding all of that, just letting it all go over. Yeah, we'll head over. Oh, well, at least Scottinus will head over and look at, like, get to seeing this.
And you do see it.
Can I attempt to use the alchemist's tools to just kind of, or use the book to see if I can identify what this most likely to be?
Make an intelligence check using your proficiency bonus as well.
I probably should have done this for the other liquids as well, but I wasn't thinking.
Delis will guide you.
Thank you. What's that again? A D4?
D4, yep.
Thank you. Proficiency is 5, so that's a +6 total, so D20 +6. Okay, 15 plus a D4. 17.
The exact nature is lost to you, but based on the way you do apply a little bit to your hand, it has weird hydrating properties. As in, like, it almost feels like you're applying moisturizer ever so slightly. It's using the tools it's the liquid itself is alive technically, not in like a creature kind of way, in like a culture kind of way. There's based on the way it reacts to certain thing, there's phosphorus inside of it and other life-conducing chemicals, like nutrients.
We can't see deep into this, can we?
You haven't tried.
Cool. I don't think we should, because I think whatever lives in this, and I'm pretty certain something will live in this, is able to sustain itself off this, like, whatever this potioned miasma of liquid is. So I think this might be some form of holding, or like a pet fish tank. I think.
I mean, the earlier cylindrical tank with the squid-like creature in it seemed to be preserving it, right? So this might be doing the same for a much larger one.
Very possible. No idea if the thing's alive or dead, but it could well be alive.
I mean, the big question is why? Why have these things here?
I mean, I'm not a hoarder, he says. Just, like...
You don't even hear him say that over the clinking of the bottles.
But I imagine, but, you know, I guess, completely not oblivious to his own fallacies. But I would imagine that there must be something to be said for just having to observe, or just, you know, it's just the nature of how the Astrophis wanted to keep whatever these things were preserved, so that she could, I don't know, gloat over her possessions for longer. There's no point having the corpse of a great beast if it just rots to nothing after a time. I mean, there could well be something alive in it. We could chuck something in and find out, but do we really want to do that?
Scotty, make a perception check.
Who?
You, Scotty.
Oh shit. 14.
after interacting with it a little bit, you realize it's like you put a tool inside of it, and you can see the tool inside of it. It just gets dark very quickly. You get the sense this is not opaque. It's just dark in here, and the liquid has a strong tint, but it may very well be possible to see into it without getting into it. Just not under these current light conditions.
Can I use my weird eye gel thing? Chuck that in that shines light.
Chuck it in?
Yeah,
I
because
can
you gave me
also
that.
dancing.
Yeah, you can do both of those things.
semi-dancing.
Maybe tie a rope around it.
Yeah.
Because you gave me that item.
Yeah, you can totally use it. I was
Has
saying
a
maybe
little-
tie a rope around it. You don't know how deep this goes. You don't have to.
No, so it's like a vat that goes into the ground,
Yeah.
so we can't see the bottom. And what is the circumference of the? we're
40
standing
feet.
above it? Like a 40 feet thing.
Yeah. So you don't know how deep it is, so I was simply suggesting a means of retrieving this, the thing you wanted to put inside to create light, just in case.
I might be able to help with that if need be.
I'm just.
Or, the unseen servant, can it can swim, right? There's nothing saying it can't.
It can do a simple task.
Yeah, there's nothing saying it cannot enter water or anything like that, so you could send it to hold onto it if you wanted.
I'm just nervous because we still have to get out of this place, so I don't want to like lose any of our rope or our items to dangle it in, because like
I can just dancing lights, send them in
Yeah,
for
that'll
120
work.
feet, I think.
Okay.
So
dancing lights.
And they go into the water, and they do illuminate. And then, quite quickly, actually, you start to see them. One shape, then another shape, and then a third shape. Just floating, suspended. Familiar shapes. Some still look like people. Others are beginning to take on draconic transformations. One of them looks like an almost fully realized dreadnought.
Ooh.
And as the lights hit the bottom, you see one final amalgamated monstrosity that looks like a 10-foot tall humanoid was like drained, like had their bones removed and like was overly stuffed with like clotted cream so that they're like a bag of like a water balloon of a person with like these 20-foot long arms, like one that's in on itself and the other one is like a thorn, this like abomination at the bottom that looks failed.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of right. It's keeping them alive, maybe, I guess, but you. Do we want to get rid of them now? How far away? So with the dancing lights, how far away are they from each other?
Quite near each other.
Okay, and distance from.
They're about 10 feet apart from each other, sort of like triangularly so.
Okay, cool.
how many in total?
There's 4 things in here.
Within a 20-foot range, you said, yeah?
Yeah, so they're about halfway into the tank, like
Yeah,
everything.
cool.
And then the abomination thing is at the bottom.
Which
And to be clear,
seems-
yeah, this doesn't even look like the abominations in the village. You surmise that they would be like versions of whatever this is that didn't go as planned. But the thing at the bottom transcends even that.
But looks dead, or doesn't seem to be responding at all?
You can't tell at this distance.
Okay, well, would I be able to get everything within a, would everything fit within a 20-foot radius? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
20-foot diameter, actually.
Yeah.
No, 20-foot radius one.
Yeah, 20-foot radius.
Cool. I'm casting a 4th level blood extraction.
Okay, here.
I just kind of hold it there for
Yeah, again.
the duration, which is a minute.
For the purposes of brevity, I will say that because they do awaken, the blood is being drained from them, but and they don't have time to react, and they basically try to frantically swim for the surface as you just like drain everything from them as the water then goes dark. And bubbles stop after about a minute. And then the 3 bodies float to the surface.
Can we tell what race they were originally?
One appeared to have been a Minotaur, and 2 Tritons, at least out of this lot.
Not to bring old memories up, Xanthia, but when Astraphis did attack your village, I'm guessing there were numerous casualties and fatalities, but was everybody accounted for after the fact?
No. Actually, I never did manage to find the bodies of my family, so...
Lisa, make an intelligence check.
$11.
You do recall Belmos saying that of the dreadnoughts in the village, they were basically gifts Astraphis reserved for her most loyal followers.
Okay. But that doesn't have any kind of association to Xanthia's home.
So if your understanding, or at least as far as you're aware, the those transformed are done so consensually.
Okay.
It's not a case of like,
I see, yeah.
transmogrifying something into, a soldier. They seem to retain their sentience, or as in their original personalities. This is elective by sick, twisted individuals who want power.
Yes, I apologize for bringing those memories up, and I'm equally as sorry, but the connection I was trying to make was perhaps that Tritons were easily, perhaps maybe more adaptable than other races, and that is maybe why she attacked your village. But from what I remember now, it seems like these creatures that are undergoing these changes have done so consensually, so...
Yeah, and the vast majority of people in the village, they've been brutally murdered, so I can't imagine that anyone would join her out of their own free accord after that.
No.
Was this the last tunnel?
Yeah, it was not. That was the entire left side of the main tunnel. There is still the 2 places on the right side. And I can... sorry, you want to say something, Scotty?
I was going to say, so with the blood extraction, does it suck in the blood so we can still see through the darting lights and see the amalgamations at the very bottom?
I'll say no, not at that point. It'll sort of fan out and cloud out once you let go.
Okay. No, it's a point that you can see within range, so I won't be able to...
Amalia will pipe up and say, "Can we put something nasty or poisonous in here, just so it'll, kill it that way, like a goldfish?"
It would probably need to be a lot of bad stuff for it to do so.
I don't know. It only took 1 extra pellet to kill my goldfish.
Sod it.
And why do we care about killing it? Why can't we leave it here?
The only thing I'm thinking is that if this just grows and grows and gorges itself, eventually it becomes some even more monstrous thing that then causes havoc. Then we could get rid of it now, or wait, we also could just leave it, I suppose.
Do you think if the villagers have anything? They have more supplies down there. I'm sure that they have someone with more medicinal or
like just turpentine, just whatever.
Could also burn it down. I don't know. Maybe it's flammable.
I mean, how much?
If it is flammable, Bithynia, there's like 1,000 gallons in here. We might want to be in a different continent.
I mean, unseen servant can do things. I don't know. I guess I have to be with it.
You see a shot of the island and like the mushroom cloud.
We can leave it. It doesn't seem to be responding for the time being. We can just leave it for now, and if we want to kill it before we go, we can.
If you don't plan to come back here, why not just collapse all the tunnels and this whole thing in on itself?
That could also work. Do we have the means to do that?
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's the fucking crickets. Sorry, ignore me.
I don't think I do.
You don't think you... I missed the question. What was it?
If we can just collapse this part of the tunnel so whatever's in it can't come out. I don't think I have anything that does that. We can explore the other two things, and we can always come back and decide before we leave. If we're happy to go to the other ones, cool. We'll go to the other. Xanthia, this is your tomb. No, that's weird. You know what I mean. You choose one of them.
Yeah, thank you. Left. I don't know.
Wait, okay, left from whose perspective? From like as you leave this.
I have no recollection of where we are.
So
you
as
choose
you leave,
basically.
as you leave, so
we pick a room. It does not matter which room.
So as you leave the tank room, you get to you come out at the end of the corridor, at the end of the main corridor. There's a room right in front of you, and then there's a room adjacent to it, closer back towards the entrance of this section.
Let's do the room that's closest to us from where we are.
Okay. You step into this room, and this room is, again, this is not ruins. This is a workshop. There's no, like, artifacts in here. Oh, there are, but there are not, they're being held by instruments and examined. Yeah, this is a study. Bithynia, you've seen studies like this in many wizarding, institutions. This is more ramshackle and draconic, but it's very much the same. It is just full of various boards that are covered in arcane workings. This is, clearly where she practices her craft. You see different sort of scroll mappings and glyphages and drawing boards. Xanthia, make a perception check.
Sure thing. 16.
It catches your eye because it is in a glass case being examined in one of these sections. A familiar scroll.
Huh. Can I read it? Where do I know it from?
It was in that exact same display canister. Actually, no, that's not true. It was in a different display canister, but it was on the mantelpiece of one Ulterin Murazath.
Okay.
You just remember her as the town alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
in your village. But you do also remember hearing rumors that you and your little kids would share once upon a time with your friends, that she'd been a wizard once upon a time. I heard she was a mage. No way. And this scroll was one of this among various other knickknacks and other fanciful oddities that she had on her wall. And what's unique about this scroll, sorry, just to not to labor the point, it doesn't look like an ordinary scroll. It's a long scroll, but it's a half twisted length of paper that looks like it's magically connected to itself to form an infinite continuous sheet.
Mm-hmm. And what is the writing like? In what language is it?
It's not writing, it's formula. It is a you've seen spell scrolls before. It's sort of that side of thing. It's the language of magic. Except almost like the symbol, like the lines in the Matrix, the symbols keep changing. Changing. Like, you try to focus on each one of them, and each, like, single character is, like, shifting, and, like, vanishes and reappears, vanishes and reappears. Instead of just floating.
Bithynia, would you mind taking a look at this?
Yeah, can do. And so she'll take a closer look at it.
You would need to, you said you have to touch, right?
For identify.
It is behind a glass case. You don't necessarily, it's not necessarily going to be difficult to pry open, and just need, in case that informs any of your choices or anything like that.
Is the glass case something that would weigh 25 pounds when filled? I've got to keep trying because I'm out of containers. His silence, stunned silence, is not very reassuring, is it? Okay.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Nope, you go ahead.
I still have comprehend languages up, so I thought I'd try. Can I, like, sort of read whatever this?
No,
thing
so it's
is?
not a language in the traditional sense.
Darn it.
It's a spell scroll. It is palpably a spell scroll, but Bithynia immediately says so when she, like, half glance up from across the room because of how obvious it is. And spell scrolls don't have language on them in that sense. It's well, it's a language because you have to, but it's somatic components. It's almost like separate syllables. Mm-hmm. It's you can read it like sa to shalam, but you can't like understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought I'd try.
That's fair.
Okay, can I try to lift off the glass thing?
It does. No issue.
Can I? Thank you. I run off back to the I'm off, source.
I will follow you for protection.
Jesus Christ.
Bless him.
I've been desperately trying to find another container, and you gave me one. I will take this. Thank you very much.
I'm surprised you didn't try to take the tank.
Well,
the one in the floor.
I didn't think about that one. But, you know, next time.
Okay. You take a moment to identify Bithynia, about 10 minutes. I assume Xanthia is pacing frantically. Okay. I'm gonna just give you the card for this one, Rebecca. And you immediately, I'll say, like, Xanthia, would you have shared this, that you've seen this before in your village with,
Yeah.
Yeah. The second you identify it and you understand what it does, Bithynia, you immediately like, oh yeah, a dragon would 100% lay waste to not just a village, but a small kingdom for this.
So she's pretty excited when she sees this.
Yeah, it is a form of magical technology, for lack of a better term, you didn't think was possible.
Yeah, but Thenia's eyes are like, holy guacamole, this is cool.
So
yeah.
What does it do?
Yeah, and so she'll show it to you, and so, you know, as you can see that it's like twisted, it's blank, but when you attune it, when you first attune to the scroll, and then again daily at dawn, each time you can use the table to determine what spell is written on it. And so each morning it can vary, and you can cast a spell from the scroll as normal while you're attuned to it, even if that spell isn't on your spell list using what you have with you. And once the spell has been cast from the scroll, the ink in which it was written vanishes from the paper until the next day when it appears again.
Spell scrolls invariably consume themselves. The magic of the ink is what fuels it and basically burns itself up, destroys itself. A reusable spell scroll, by all accounts, is not
really
not physically possible. Except that's exactly what this does.
And so you see the wonderment in Bithynia's eyes. She's like, I didn't think that this was possible, and yet here it is. I don't know. I can imagine why the dragon kept it hidden away.
And as you look at the various different boards and things around this particular glass case, the instruments, they're all geared around deciphering, and a lot of the... Long story short, it's very clear for your trained eye, Bithynia, that Astraphis was trying to replicate it. And not succeeding.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Is there anything else? So Xanthia, where did you find this?
I was in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Well, not quite the middle of the room, but it was not like out of sight. It was at one of the many workstations.
Yeah, originally I saw it back at home. It was displayed in the alchemist's house. I always thought it looked cool, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. I guess outside of that big one, that big scroll that we saw supporting the ceiling in the other room, this is the only other, like, interesting scroll-like item here that's just been about.
It's the only thing that seems... I mean, everything else just looks like there's a gold foil Cassandoran death mask in one section, but that looks like the stuff around that is like sort of, you know, trying to translate the funerary rites on the inside for historical purposes. This is the only magic item in here. As far as you can tell. You can take some time, cast detect magic if you want to be sure, and I'll volunteer the information that that's the case. Actually, point of order. I take it back. Examining this room and the next one, which does seem to contain tablets and other sort of spell tablets that are Cassandoran, that Astraphis had been trying to decipher. You, Bithynia, and I won't make you guys roll, first I'll volunteer it. You guys see the information available to basically the transcoded and transcopied, or basically, yeah, transcoded and deciphered, and sometimes even invented, or discovered by Astravis herself, information to learn several spells you don't recognize. Not necessarily on top of your original spell maximum and stuff like that. This would basically be out of character, adding spells to your repertoire. But then you take time to learn so you basically take time to read through these, and I can provide the info on the board after the game. But you guys are able to collect these. It is a couple extra tablets, so someone make room. You guys got a lot of cargo. But the spells, you basically, as you list them off, Bithynia, and decipher them, are as follows. Acid Rain, Reactive Mutation, True Reactive Mutation, Bone Cage, Field of Bones, Flesh to Bone, and Shackle.
Can you repeat those, please?
Acid Rain, Reactive Mutation, True Reactive Mutation, Bone Cage, Field of Bones, Flesh to Bone, and Shackle. I will post those in our private Discord. I forget, I'll post it in general chat. Don't forget to join our Discord.
I made a note of the scrolls in my notes.
I assume Scotty stopped paying attention the second he heard the word bone.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I've got the names for whoever wants them.
Scotty, we found new spells. What are they called? Bone. Ah, fuck it. Lado, don't talk to me.
To give a context, what I've done is I've gone back to the room that had the vat of blue, whatever it is, because that's probably as much as I was tempted potentially to get some of the other fluids of whatever that were there. I'm not sure, but this substance seems very magically charged. I'm going to create, basically fill it up, use hemokinesis to remove the blood that might have got there as well for it, and then as soon as I get £25 worth of it with the glass, I'm going to use that and press that into the first page of the...
Easy enough. Good. The book grumbles at you.
Yep. And then with Hilira we return.
Okay. Again, for the purposes of brevity, I'll say that you do a thorough sweep of this complex, and you seem to have picked through everything of note.
Well, it's kind of weird knowing that everyone you ever knew in your life has been killed for a piece of paper, but...
What is the piece of paper? What does it do?
Looks fancy, can do magic.
Bithynia's shaking her head yes, day by day, whatever it has on it is what you can get for that day. And then the next day, it's random, reusable, quite handy. Not worth a village, but still nonetheless. Really cool, I've never seen anything like this.
Well, if you ask me, you can have it. I don't think I can make use of that anyway, so...
Just says spellcaster, just to be clear.
Oh! Well,
I can imagine
I think that bug, maybe.
I imagine Bithynia says that, actually, it says any spellcaster, and you hear, the sound of, brakes, in a cartoon, and Xanthia's
I mean, I'm not
Maybe.
saying that it wouldn't be useful for you to be in the front as you cast Fireball, but,
But if this is what your town was attacked for, it doesn't seem right for anyone else to...
We can just take it with us for now and then talk about it.
If you don't... I would say first refusal would certainly go to you, and then... It seems interesting. I don't know. But yeah, think about it.
Yeah, I will. Okay, but then I think that was every room, right?
What was that?
Right.
That was
right?
every room in this complex, yes. You can continue to explore the wider lair if you like, or you could call it a day, as it were.
I'm going to say, while most of the party were fixated on that, Delise is going to pull Hilira over to one side since she didn't seem too proactive in that scenario. Hilira, do you have a minute?
Sure.
I wanted to cash in that favor that you brought up a little while back about sending a message.
Okay.
Do you prepare that spell today, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, this is what the recipient looks like, and she'll use minor illusion to conjure the face of Lysander as best as she can.
You see a weathered older gentleman with a short but clean-kept goatee. Disheveled white hair, or grey hair that he sort of about this long overall, sort of like in like a overhead thing. He keeps it out of his face with a headband. Has a lot of lines and a lot of wear and a lot of sadness in his face. What do you see?
Sad old boy.
And I
No,
think
it
that's the oh no, so you just showing a picture, never mind. Continue.
He should seem familiar to you. He was part of the flashback that you saw with the Sphinxes. Can you remember?
Just for clarification, you saw the entire flashback from his eyes, as in...
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Ignore that then.
okay.
I've wrote down on a piece of parchment here what I'd
Okay.
like you to say, if that's okay.
Yes.
And if you check your DMs, I've sent you it.
I've read it.
He's prepping just not to fuck this up.
Okay. 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 I'll sending. God, you really said 25 words. I can't even fuck one word up.
Yeah, no, it's exactly 25. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm sending now. Lysander. I'm Hilira, friend of Jalessa. She is in Fulgurus with a group of slaves that have been liberated. Please come with ships and aid.
There's a pause. Nice to meet you, Hilira. Thanks for the info. We'll do everything we can. Where is Fulgurus?
He says hi, and he misses you, and he doesn't know where the island is.
I thought as much.
Do you need me to send another message?
Yes, probably.
Okay. Do you want me to just, like, go with the flow?
She's not laughing, I'm laughing. Yes,
Actually, a thought just occurred to me. This was a bit of info that was hidden somewhere else in the lair, but it makes no sense that none of the artifacts would have brought it up. Bithynia, make an investigation check. Because you guys were in a room full of stuff that Stravis had uncovered and was translating and deciphering.
I got a total of 18.
You're coming through the Cassandoran tablets out of fascination. You do still remember the lessons of Professor Isidore, and you were one of the few people who actually enjoyed those lessons. So you were You're enraptured. This is like coming across like a lost king, like a lost Minoan kingdom. And one of them mentions the name of this island. In passing, you almost miss it, but you then realize, no, yeah, that has to be it, in terms of the reference of the sentence. This island is called Siconia.
So as she's enamored, she's in like she's like on cloud 9 through all of this, reading things. She's just in the history. This is exactly what she wanted out of Tempest, is getting to see where these things came from or ended up, things that were missing. And now as she's like jotting down all this information so that there's more for other adventurers in the past who didn't, she'll just ring out Siconia. She'll look together. This island has a name, Siconia.
Okay, that's good to know. Do you want me to tell Lysander that?
Yes, that has probably been a name that has been erased from history, so people would not find the island. I would say someone of Lysander's knowledge in history would probably be aware of that, yes.
Okay, I will cast Sending again.
You got free ball.
Lysander! We're near in Siren Sea. Past the dragon turtle. He's mean. The island is called Siconia. Please hurry. Would love to meet you.
Another moment's pass. Doesn't ring an immediate bell, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Be quick as we can, but tell Delisa to sit tight. Give her my regards.
Oh. He says hi again. He still misses you. He's on his way, and you should sit tight.
Yes, I thought as much. Do you know what this means, Lyra?
What does it mean?
It means that I'm going to stay here until they arrive.
But no! But we can all stay, right? Then we'll all stay, and then we can, I don't know, talk to the mean dragon again, because I didn't ask about the village was like proof. But also, we also kind of know, but you can't stay here alone.
There is a malevolent evil rampaging on Akros at the moment, and you can't afford to wait for Lysander to arrive. But I can.
I don't want to go without you.
I don't want to leave you either, my love.
Who's gonna bring me back when I do something stupid? And who's gonna bring you back when you do something stupid?
It's a fair point. But you have managed without me, and you before I joined the group, and you'll manage after I have left.
I don't want to. Did I do something wrong?
No.
Did we do something wrong? Is it Bakio's? I'll kick his ass.
It's not Bakio's, no, but we have a clash of morals that I don't want to get in the way of the overall mission of Tempest, and that is another reason why I think I should leave as well. I will address the group as a whole, but I'm telling you now because you have just sent those messages for me.
Well,
in fact, I would have probably left earlier if you had given a similar response to the one he did, but you are kinder and more understanding, so that is why I've stayed around longer.
Well, I feel like I should just like kind of tell you my whole life story now. Like you never told me why you have divine blood, and we never got to talk about how you feel about still being alive because you died, Celeste, and then you never got to have your love with Amalia, and you never got to find your piece of divinity, and you wanted to find yours.
I know. And all those things make me equally as sad. Believe me. But it'll be okay. And this isn't goodbye forever. It's just see you later. So you better stay alive, because when you've fulfilled your mission and killed Tamaret, then we can meet up again.
Yeah.
And you have your own love to pursue.
Do you mean?
I mean, even before the kiss, I seen the way you looked at her. I've seen that look 1,000 times in my lifetime. I know you care about her. Want to be with her. There is something that's holding you back, however. Would you like to share that?
Well, sometimes when you're a lady and then your parents are like, marry this guy. And then you kind of can't say no. And then you might kind of get engaged. And then you might sort of run away. So it's complicated?
It does sound complicated. But if I know anything about you, it's that you follow your own path and do your own thing. And I'm sure what you have just described will not... You will not let that stop you from getting in. From getting what your heart... Yes. That is exactly what I was about to say.
You are all children.
That's what Bokyo said I should do.
He's probably right. I would probably do the same in your shoes.
Do I sleep with Xanthia?
That is not what I was saying. But she is a fine...
Bonk all of you.
She's a fine woman. If you're looking third wheel, then... Well...
Lisa, I swear to all the gods, if you take another crush from me, I will hit you with the chair.
No, I would never do such a thing, because I think you would end my life and then this time not bring me back, so...
Well, I would bring you back, just to ask you like 1,000 questions.
So yes. When you eventually go to Akros and do what you have to do, I'm sure you'll have several conversations with your parents, and one of them will be to explain to them that you do not love this man and you love Xanthia instead. If they don't accept that, then that's on them. You can't do anything about that. You can only tell them your true feelings. And if they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, they don't. But I still think you should be with her regardless of that outcome.
Yeah, I've been kind of avoiding her since the kiss.
Yes. The language of love comes freely to some and is a bit more difficult to others. But you'll learn. And I think she will as well.
But do you think I should like talk to her, or do you think I should just go up to her and like give her also a kiss so that we're like on the same because now she's like she kissed me, but then should I then kiss her? So then,
That is quite the dilemma. I would always encourage communication. She deserves to know this predicament that you're in. I'm sure she'll understand.
There's a lot going on, Delessa.
I know. But you have a journey back to Melodies. There's plenty of time to talk and make love.
Ha! That'd be awkward.
As for the divinity thing, I'm assuming you're referring to what I said to Hithonia.
Yes!
The truth is I don't know the intricacies of it myself. Daxos told me back in Mount Velos that he saw something within me. He didn't really know much himself, but the words he used pointed in the direction of divinity. I asked one of the triplets for some advice on this as well. She also didn't know much, but got little hints at least.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want you to leave, Delessa, but I understand. Do you want me to kick Buckyos' ass?
No, and I am definitely not saying that Bacchios is in the wrong either. He has his own ideals and he believes them wholeheartedly, and I cannot condemn him for that. Sometimes ideals cannot be changed, and that is okay. And like I said, I don't want this clash of ideals to create any unwanted distractions for the group, shall we say. With me out the equation, you can focus primarily on defeating Timarat and not having these squabbles in the background.
I'll send you many messages, okay?
I look forward to them with great anticipation.
Okay. But, like, I won't use, like, all my spell slots, like, all the time, because, you know, what happens when we get, like, attacked in the middle of the night, and I use, like, all my spell slots on Sunday, and then, you know.
That sounds like a familiar tale. Yes.
Tale us all this time.
Be wise for when you use those spells, and I'll be waiting.
Okay.
Tamara, I've pinned your comment just because I think it's appropriate.
I give you a big hug.
She embraces you back, and you get a very lovely smell of flowers as you do so.
Very well. As you guys rejoin the others, you take a moment, but it seems you have quite thoroughly searched this section of the lair. You know the way you came in. You can't leave that way.
How much gold are we taking with us?
I think 50 coins equals £1, so if you want to do the maths, you can.
You guys have 2 bags of holding. Oh no, Scotty filled his up with blood.
Well, no, so I wish I had, but the conclusion I had there was that it would just mix up too badly, so that hasn't happened. I have various containers that have been sealed with blood there as well, but I can pad them around with coins. So I think the remaining space in that bag of holding, I also worked out that I can hold 52,100 coins using the remaining pages on the book if I just stack coins together. But I don't know if that's going to be the best use of it, but I'm tempted to.
So I have an idea of how we might carry some more things back. I prepared a spell tonight. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, okay. Xanthia will start casting Find Steed.
Ooh!
What form does your steed take?
An enormous bucket.
So mechanically an elk.
Okay.
But imagine it a bit like the Lord of the Mountain from Zelda Breath of the Wild. So this spectral, like bright blue elk-like creature.
Okay.
Yes.
Very pretty.
Yes.
Alright. Let me just... I never played, Mountain or Wild? Sorry, Lord of the Mountain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ah, okay, I got it.
Hilary, have you marked down the diamonds and everything? Or do we have whatever diamonds were found?
Yeah, so the diamond, the 2 sapphires, and the,
Because I don't have those written down on my sheet, so I just want to make sure that someone had those.
Yeah, I have them written down.
I've got those if you really need. 6 gems, 2 jacinth, 1 diamond, and 3 sapphire.
The diamond is the restore life goodness, basically, was my...
Yeah, this creature... sort of comes out of the ether. Ready to go. Sorry, ready to go.
Okay!
You guys thought
Alright.
about doing this the traditional way out of curiosity, you know, finding some boxes, lashing together some boxes, anything like that? No, it has to be magical.
That's cool. I mean, my next thought was we've got half of a purple worm, and we could just have just poured coins down its gullet and then kind of just dragged it along like a weird like sock puppet. But this is better. This is
Okay.
better. This is
So,
far less-
what is currently in the bag of holding and who's holding it? Do you guys have 2 bags of holding, or did I hallucinate that?
I have the bag of holding. I don't know if there is a bag of holding alongside bags of holding. Inside the bag of holding, there are £92 worth of that plus 5. So those ones aren't marked. Some of these weren't given specific weights, but I would say for safety, I would say at least half of its weight is taken up of the £500. I'm probably over-egging that one, but at least half the weight is taken up with various
Bits that Scotty needs for his own ends.
including some werewolf stuff that I should
Wow.
add at some point. Yeah. So £250 spare to go.
All right. It was £1 is 50 coins, Sammy.
Yes, yep.
Okay, that's one option. Botch, why am I remembering that you had a bag of holding? I'm not saying I'm giving you a bag of holding.
I
You didn't,
don't definitely do not have a bag of holding. I just carry lots of shit because I'm strong. That's basically it.
Fair.
You are the bag of holding.
Yeah,
The botch of holding.
a botch of holding. Yeah, but I have no bag of holding.
I can get 12,500 coins, and I can just load. If people are happy loading this as like a communal pop thing, I'm happy to do it. Like the communal bag. I mean, they might get slightly covered in viscera, but the money's still good. I can fit in 12,500 coins.
You could put the viscera in in one of the tanks and just.
Nah, it's all right. Yeah. So, did we have written down the? I have some writings for a previous reward we got, which is the vampire reward, but not this one. I don't have the actual coin markings for this one. Does someone have that written down? And I can just load stuff into this bag, and then we can just load, and then we can load the rest onto the steed. How much can the steed weigh? Actually, how much can the steed carry?
It's an elk, so a bit. Like, okay, it can pull more than it can carry. Because it's a steed. Because I think steeds, like, I know draft horses can pull like 5 times their weight. Also, like 5 times their carrying capacity.
Yeah. Did someone have the coin count?
I wrote down
Yeah.
101,000 GP, but not sure if that's correct.
1,001 gold.
And then also
101,000
platinum.
gold pieces, 2,100 platinum pieces.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I can load up 50 times 250. I can take about half of all the platinum pieces.
Bithynia, you can hold about 500 pounds, right? on the floating disc?
Well, with my Tensor's floating disc, but
Yeah.
it has some limitations. Yeah, 500 pounds.
I mean, depending on how quickly you guys wanted to get this done, it could be a case of, multifaceted thing. Like get to the hole. Use ropes and levies, so as in like make multiple trips. Like if your goal is to just get it to the surface.
I'm gonna.
I also have the ability to kind of move fast with my displacement, kind of like going left and right, so I can move pretty fast. I also potentially could find a familiar that could, albeit maybe not as fast, carry things as well, back and forth.
Yeah, I can still carry about 100 pounds, so...
Okay, I can take... it was 2100. Wait, so 2100. Oh no, 2100 did you say? Or 2100?
2100.
Oh, I can take all the... I think I can then take all
Oh,
the...
that's the same number. 2100 and 2100 are the same thing.
Sorry. I can't maths today, but I can take 12,500 coins, so I can easily take yeah, I can take all the platinum pieces, and I can take approximately 10,000 gold pieces. Meaning there's 90,000 gold pieces that I can't take. That's left to go. And Scotty just goes, it's all here, people need it, it's there, I'm not running off with it. Done that before. It's here.
You guys also have Bithynia's helm if you wanted to potentially loan that to a different party member and double up on the floating disc.
Could do that.
Is it attunement based, though?
The helm isn't a tune.
Amalia can do it.
10,000 gold pieces. Right. I have added the platinum pieces and the 10,000 gold pieces to the bag of holding. I have no more containers, so yeah, whatever method we do, we do. But I feel like I have plenty now.
I can carry 5,000 gold pieces myself.
That leaves 85 to go. 85,000 to go.
Sorry, how many thousand is a pound again?
50 is a pound. So...
50 gold pieces is a pound.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. I can carry... let me just do a quick calculation here.
Have you factored in your dragon bits as well?
I factored in all my bits.
Oh,
Bosch's dragon bits.
I have not factored in my dragon bits.
Did I give them weight?
No, I've added an extra over 100 pounds of weight.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Oh, just got to exactly find out how much I can do.
Also, you guys have Astraphis' spellbook, correct?
I think Bithynia
Yeah.
still has that. I've kept hold of the Dragon Horde book, and I seem very happy with it.
Tell you what.
Someone else wants it, they can. I seem very happy.
I can carry a further 18,500 gold pieces.
Okay, I shall give you 18,500 gold pieces then.
This is the most money I've had in 10 years. I previously had 8 drachmi, and now have 18,500 and 8 drachmi. Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's 66,500 gold pieces to go. We can leave some behind if we want, but tell me how much of this you want to add to your own markings, because I'm keeping track of.
So, flicking through Astraphis' spellbook, she does have polymorph, if that's of any use. Telekinesis, Big B's hand, Conjure Elemental,
The steed will be fine. I think we should.
Arcane Gate.
I think the elk should be able to carry 12,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
I'll just add that to my inventory just for simplicity's sake.
That's fine. 54,500. Hilira, how many coins can you carry? How many do you want? Do you want some pocket money? Have some coins.
I've been trying to figure that out, man, but I am not smart, and I don't know how much I can carry.
So if Bithynia encodes polymorph into Matizi and cast that on somebody and turns them into something big, I could probably deal with the rest of it.
What about like a kangaroo and just everything in the pouch?
Hey, I like it.
What's a kangaroo?
Oh, too right.
Bithynia, Lisa, do you want some money just anyway before we put the rest into a like?
Sure, I would love some money.
How much do you want to take?
I don't know. How much can I?
Can you hold 2,000 gold pieces?
I don't know.
I could float it behind me.
Have you guys not used the floating disc yet?
Basically, I just want to get it to a nice round number of 50,000. So I'm just trying to get rid of 4,500 gold pieces because I'm just that way. So,
Okay, 2,000 divided by 50, it would be 40 pounds. Can you hold an extra 40 pounds, Hilira?
How the fuck do I know that?
Because if you look at your character
still
sheet,
have almost 100 pounds of carrying capacity still.
You could take 2,000.
Okay.
someone's not pulling
You
their
can take
weight.
5,000 if you want.
Okay, I'll take 5,000.
Well, I'm going to give you 4,500 because if I give you 5,000, it's going to be less than 50,000. It just won't make it nice and easy. So have 4,500 instead.
Sure.
So I give you 4,500 gold pieces, and the remaining 50,000 gold pieces goes on
The floating disc?
floating disc.
Delisa would take some.
Yeah, go ahead. If people want to take it, it's fine. It's just it's there. It's now a round number, and people can now play with it.
She has Betty Spaghetti arms. Is not very strong, so she can only carry 500 coins. So what she'll do, if possible, is she'll take them in platinum pieces, which is 5,000 gold pieces, basically, which is still considerably less than the 17,500, which is the overall share if you split it seven ways. So she will just take that and she'll be happy with that.
So you've got 500 platinum pieces.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I will amend that from what I got in here.
Yeah, that works out. But Delisa got the nice, conveniently light ones. It's like she got a lack of hernias from carrying.
No problem.
Yeah, she's not strong.
And I have 10,500.
Mm-hmm. All right, it seems like you guys can roughly carry everything. So
Yeah.
I can abridge this if you guys would prefer. I'll say it'll take you about 6 hours, and I will say Hilira probably have to mark off a few uses of fly. It takes a couple trips. I'd say mark off. No, let's meter this out. So you guys with that can get to the... If you guys are looking to leave now, you could make your way to the main tunnel. Was in the main shaft that gets out of here.
Yeah. Oh, did someone take that potion with the weird dragon scale in it?
I thought you did.
I just kind of assumed that we took all of the
Yeah, okay.
cool
I was gonna
items.
say, can I have the thing with the dragon scale in it? Thank you. Cool. Brilliant.
Okay, factor in the items on the weight you're carrying. Did nobody add those?
Yes. Well, that was why I
Okay.
wanted to double check in terms of that. So
All right.
potion vial I can do.
Yeah. So let's say you guys managed to amalgamate everything, aggregate it. Also, Amalia's here, and obviously Violet's not here, but she can take a lot of weight as well. So let's just assume you've got everything distributed through, like your bags are heaving, your calves are going to be sore in the morning from carrying this, but you're there and you're at the shaft. So there's 7 of you. The fly spell would get you all out of here. The steed as well, yeah, basically. So there's 8 of you. However many, if you wanted to do it that way, alternatively, if you wanted to use like rope and stuff and like do it over the course of maybe like 2 hours, you could.
Dully's has Dimension Door as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you can do
Take
that
the
way.
elk. Take the elk. It's so big.
Fly is 1 person at 3rd level.
It's 4 at 7th.
Okay.
I sprout my wings and go into my alchemist form using Clash of Unworldly Guise, and I will fly.
Okay. That's 1. Okay, so that brings it down to 7. Dolisa, if you Dimension Door 2 people, that would leave 4. So 7th level fly spell slot would get everybody
perfect.
up and out. Or you could do 2/4 if that's better, Helira, whatever. You
I don't have that amount of 4th level spells anymore.
How?
Boom. Message.
I used a lot of spells last session, and we haven't taken a long rest yet.
Nope. So,
Oh yeah.
but we get out.
Okay.
That's all that matters. We're
Yeah,
free.
and with the 10 minutes, you can get out of the worst part of those. Like, you can get out of the quarry as well. And, okay, so you're out. And again, with the coins, you will be, I'll say you're traveling at a slow pace. So it will be... Well, this is the same day. It took you guys about... It'll take to about, like, the next morning to get back to the village. This is a few miles, and you guys are... Oh, no, about the next morning. Between that and the cry... No, yeah, I'm gonna say... Between getting out of the mountains with the amount of weight you've got on yourselves, doing so without injuring yourselves, and I won't make you guys roll for it or anything like that, but just I'll say, you can travel through the night if you want, and it'll take you about to the next morning, and you'll get back to the village.
Cool.
Okay. So, mark off a point of exhaustion for that, as you won't be able to take a long rest, but I'll say, as you guys, travel through the night, groaning and heaving as your legs, are starting to give out from under you from all the squats and, like, other, endurance exercises, CrossFit you're doing with all these coins. You do make it to the village, and as you begin to roll back into the village, we're gonna take a break.
Hey.
Cool.
Right. We
Well-
made it. We got out. I thought we'd never get out.
We'll meet back here.
I mean, the end of the game.
Meet back here at 25 past the hour, or about 10 minutes. Empty what needs to be empty, refill what needs to be refilled, grab yourselves a delicious snack, and we'll be back here real soon. We are DC30. Thank you very much. And we're back. And we find ourselves as we're rolling into the village.
Whew.
I don't know about you guys, but I could really use a nap.
So, have we decided if we are... I mean, I'm exhausted as well. Have we decided if we are wanting to leave the current de facto point of power in power when we leave, or not? I know that was a discussion that was being had before we got distracted by lots of shiny things.
Well, Daddy Daxos, Aster, said that he was kind of nice.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think Aster wants to kill him as necessarily, but we still could if we wanted to.
He did I need to speak to him again before we go anyway. I mean, I know we need to tell him, but he said that something sprang to mind. When I was mentioning about Grove Song, that I found out about when I was in Vale, he mentioned, I think, a name, and it's just slipped my mind. I need to get that name back, just in case that becomes relevant to been sharing information with the enemy, as it were. I would like to unload some of this stuff onto our ship before I go and see him, just so I don't look quite as filled with riches, if that makes sense.
Do we want to like free our crew?
Oh, they've been freed.
I would.
Oh.
I thought we did that before we went up here.
Yeah, I think they've been released.
Cool.
I just don't know if we determined if there was anyone else that we were taking with or not, which I think was the extra boat scenario. I still really don't know what we're going to do, if I'm honest. I don't think we're going to fit all the people that want to leave on the ship. I know the suggestion was to have, if we have like multiple ships that we travel. There's a few ways around it, but I'm not entirely certain if that's going to work.
Well, I think Delessa had a plan.
Oh yeah.
Is my mic okay, by the way? That was me
Yeah.
again.
All good.
Okay.
That'd be awkward. Of all the times, let's make sure it is. Yes.
No, Tamara picked up on something, thankfully, so I think I just fixed it. So, yes, that's great. Yeah, back in character. Sorry, what exactly did Scotanos say? Because I was fiddling with my mic.
No, that's fine. So he spent a few moments just going, well, I don't really know what we're going to do with how we're going to get everyone off the island. And
Right.
Valyria said, well, Delessa's possibly got a plan, and he's just turned around and gone, huh? Oh?
Yes, I have an unfortunate tale to tell, and it's one I've planned for a while, but I need to be transparent with you all. Some of you already know what I'm about to say. The rest of you would be fresh information. But given what has happened in the last couple of days, weeks, I feel like I owe this information to you. You have not only put your lives on the line for me with Hithonia, you could have left me there when she petrified me. You brought me back to life in the fight in the village, and again in the fight with Astraphis, you put your lives on the line for me again, especially Hilira in that moment where I thought I would fall again, but she was there to save me. And so it is about time I tell you a bit more about myself. I am part of a liberation front, if you will. Again, some of you already know this, and to others it might have already been obvious, but for a couple of years I've worked in the shadows of Theros with a group of people with like-minded ideals and morals. And essentially what we aim to do is to free people who are enslaved or in situations of serfdom or servitude, and free them from these conditions, relocate them, give them better security, better safety, essentially give them more rights than what they have. Like I said, we've carried out various tasks of this nature across Theros, but one of the major operations is Akros itself. In the grand scheme of things, it's a fairly new operation and it is ongoing. But as you can imagine, a operation like that affects both Hilira and Bacchios. And they are the two of the members that have already heard this tale. Because I thought I owed them that information prior to everyone else. It has become clear that Bacchios' ideals and my ideals are very polar opposites of each other. And that has been a point of tension in the group for some while now. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think it's been on display by and large. I don't want that clash of morals to come in the way of what you're trying to do as a group. To take down Tamara, it's not worth two members squabbling and the distractions that brings to let that rear its head anymore. So that is one of the reasons I am leaving. Maybe not so much leaving, but as you said, Skotinos, there is a large population of it. People who have been enslaved on this island, and I would like to help them back to the mainland. While we were in Astravis's caverns, I had Hilira send a message to the leader of my organization, a man you have all seen visions through his eyes, Lysander. For secrecy reasons, I cannot tell you the name of the organization, but it is okay that I tell you that he is in charge. And I have asked him for aid and ships, and he will come. But you do not have the time to wait for him to come, and so I must stay. And in the meantime, you must go, because time is of the essence and people are dying, innocent people. And only you can stop them. You had managed many a time without me in the past, and you will still manage without me in the future. This is not a permanent goodbye, this is a see you later. I wish to reconnect with all of you to some extent in the future, and so I do hope you all stay alive, so that can come to fruition. Some more than others, and she looks to Bithynia and Amalia.
If you look towards Amalia, you will see her face of barely contained rage. And when you look at her directly, she walks away.
You'll see Bithynia is just like shaking her head with her arms crossed, where she is maybe holding back tears, but also has been in this similar, very similar position before following graduation. So she's like, like, what do you say? What to say? We'll have to have words before I take my final step on the ship before we leave, but
Can I?
I understand as much now as I did then.
I still a little. What exactly was the operation in Akros? What?
To just do as I described that we do as a group, we look to liberate people and help them leave these places of servitude. Akros within itself is one of the most renowned for having servants and serfs. Inherently, the scale of the operation needs to be as large as it is to successfully help exile these people, but like I said, the operation is still new and ongoing.
Right. So, you assassinate people, or?
No.
Oh, well then I guess I'm a bit more confused. I could assume that the reason for the issue was that you killed someone important, or?
No. That is not the case at all. In fact, I have never myself or anyone under my watch has partaken in violence, but that is not to say that violence does not occur in the group, but as a general rule of thumb, we try to integrate ourselves in these communities undercover and piece by piece, like we did in this village, help people from the shadows. I don't want to speak to Bacchios, and I'm sure he will give his own tales, but I just believe that he is a traditionalist, and slaves and serfs have always been a part of his culture, and the polis of Akros as a whole. So I think he just disagrees with just the general practice, regardless of whether it is violence or not violence.
Scottina's finally now putting things together. Like a lot of things kind of almost like dominoes falling into place. Kind of he looks between Bokios and Delissa. Right. Okay. Well, I do hope we see you again. If you're as secretive as you say you are, should I be keeping this? And he holds the vial of your blood.
The answer to that is probably not, but I trust you, Scotinas. I have entrusted all of you with this information that I've just spoke of. It would probably be frowned upon by the higher-ups of the organization, but we ultimately make our own decisions.
If you're sure, it's good to know that we can find you if we need you. And I guess you'll know if you feel a pull in our direction that the need is there. Okay, put it away. When do you leave?
I don't know. I would presume, like ourselves, it'll take a while, a couple of days to reach this island from the mainland, so I will remain with everyone else in the meanwhile and ensure everyone is safe until the rest of my troop get here.
He nods, he goes quiet. Okay.
Yeah, Xanthia would walk up to Delisa and just pull her into a hug real quick. And just as she steps back, just give you a nod of appreciation. Well, you better answer Hilara's messages. It's a very honorable thing that you're doing.
Thank you. You know, I can sense confusion and anger. And she looks to where Amalia walked off to. Those are all valid emotions. This has probably come as a shock to most of you. But I truly have the group's interest at heart, Tempest's interest at heart. As for the slaves, freeing people has been a large part of my life, something I have so much passion towards. It would pain me to just leave them here. And I'm sure they would be safe, but that is what I have chosen to do. I will speak to you all individually, but you have my utmost gratitude and thanks. And I have never felt more alive than I have in my time with Tempest. The fights, the laughs, the drama. It is all being very riveting, and I will cherish those moments until the day I die.
So, Bender for the last night?
That sounds good to me.
Right. There must be some decent alcohol in this village. Let's find it all.
Very well. There is. Belmos pops out a few casks of the stuff from the Vale he kept in his personal reservoir. And
not much of it is spared the night.
a grand night is had. Do I have any? No, I've only got noble parties, not like a festival type sound. That's fine. Don't have to have something for everything.
While throughout the revelry, few points. Amalia is noticeably absent. She has returned to the ship, and she doesn't participate. Scotinos will go to Belmos and get the name, or get that lead towards Grove Song that he mentioned. And Scotinos will actually make a fucking note this time.
I will DM it to you.
Thank you.
That is louder than I want it to be.
Okay, question for this. While this is going on, would it be possible for me to try to build something, like, while this party is going on?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think earlier I had asked if there was a library and I couldn't find one.
Not on a pirate shanty town, no.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to try to build, like, a little library box with, like, a hinged door to put on a post somewhere.
Do you use the aid of any magic?
If that's something that's available. I don't exactly have library building spell prepared, but, or no.
Well, that's your own error, isn't it?
I know. All these books and spells, this scroll of infinity is not so infinite, is it? No. It's got fireball. It doesn't build a library. No. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think that if I could find, like, a box or something.
Astraphis has fabricate in her spell book.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to build, like, a little library. And
Using fabricate or just in general?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
use fabricate.
You'll need to sub out one of your 2 spells on Matizi to do that. Which one do you replace?
I mean, can I do it without? I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible, and I haven't had a
I am also
shorter
trying to make that as
yet.
simple as possible. As far as I'm aware, you have no carpentry tools whatsoever. If you want to build a library box, this would be the best way to ensure that whatever you build remains standing. Unless you roll like a natural 30.
30.
Fabricate. Okay, so fabricate, and then
I assume you want this library box to remain standing.
yeah.
Yeah. You could try to build it from scratch, but without any proficiency in tools, your success...
No, I just don't know what fabricate is, so if you know what it is and I don't, then you suggest it, then I will take your suggestion. I just
You
have
literally
to
take
go
raw
back-
materials and transmute them into, and basically like reshape them into, like you could basically take a whole bunch of planks of wood, or like just wood, raw wood, and you cast fabricate on it to turn it into like a chair, or like a section of a wall. Okay, and do you wish to dedicate the evening to this task?
More or less, yeah, because I would
Okay.
like to. I'll speak with Dover said before, like, being one of the last people to speak with her before I leave. But yeah, I'm gonna spend that time not partying,
Okay,
building this little library.
let's have a look, see here. Fabricate. You can convert raw materials into products of the same material. For example, you can fabricate a wooden bridge from a clump of trees. Choose raw materials contained within a 10-foot cube or 8 connected 5-foot cubes. If you take a short rest to spend that time to encode Matizi, which spell do you sub out on Matizi?
I'll be honest, I haven't had it long enough to know what's on there, to know what
So
to
it
take out.
currently has legend lore and disintegrate. No, sorry, it has borrowed knowledge and disintegrate.
And I thought I used disintegrate.
Previously,
Oh,
yes.
Disintegrate to hit the barrier. Yes.
So does that mean that it's still there?
It's still there, yes. It's like, it works like a spell book.
Oh, Sorry, I've never played a character that has a spellbook, so I don't comprehend how it works. So I've just been given this like 2 sessions ago. I don't understand how it works, so my apologies. So I guess we'll take Disintegrate out.
Basically, it's like think of it like a Walkman that has 2 like cassette slots in it. Like, it can play whatever you want, but you can only slot 2 cassettes in at a time. You have to take one tape out and slot another tape in. That's how sort of encoding spells. At least that's how this item works in particular. And now Wizard Spellbook, they have just their whole list, and they can prepare it. You have your Spellbook functions a bit like a tape deck, but the Mathesi is the Walkman. And you'd have to take one of the tapes out and put a different one in.
So I'll take I'll put Fabricate in and exchange that for Disintegrate.
Okay. Easy enough to do. So, with Fabricate, how big do you want this to be?
I mean, pretty good. I wanted to withhold, like, the weather, but I only have a couple books on myself that I could put in there.
Because it's, so it's 8 connected 5-foot cubes. And you're a warlock, so you can take several short rests. I mean, fuck, if you spend the night doing it, you could build like a little hut, like a nice hut.
Yeah, I'll do that. I think that part of the thing with Afara is like building communities and cities, so it would be within her thing that she would want to leave a library for anyone. So I think that
Take a point of piety for that.
She wants to party. I mean, she wants to party, but she's like, how can you people live without a library? Like, you need a library.
Very good. Take a point of piety for that. I like that. Yeah, no, with a warlock with Fabricate could build you guys a fucking ship.
As you're getting through, like at one point, by the time I'm drunk enough, the Wand of Clemency is now actually activated. I can use the things while drunk, and I will both, though they will do nothing, I will cast Terrorism on you and Lesser Restoration to keep you boosts to keep going through your task.
I'm surprised you don't march into battle shit-face more often, Scotty.
Yeah.
It's tempting with those. And off he goes.
Because I think Critical Role came up with some custom rules for being drunk, where you're like immune to fear, but you have like disadvantage on ability checks or something like that. I have to double check what it is.
Probably.
Imagine like Scotty coming out and seeing the fresh air, or like, enjoying fresh air, seeing Bethany just working and be like, going back in.
It won't be Bethany be like, and then like just sits and has a like chill for an hour. Like, okay, another section. Because you have 3 spell slots, right?
Yes, whether or not I have them available, that's another question. But yeah, I have.
Okay, so you're a warlock, so take 2 short rests, 3 spells. Yeah, I'd say with 3 spell slots, you could build a bungalow.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So there's going to be like shelves on the inside. Sadly, she's only willing. I think that during this time she would put in. She would put in the Learn How to Read book, like the rudimentary book that she got from the library back in Melites, when she thought that maybe
book. Learn how to read.
And then you don't get any other book. No. -1 piety. No.
No, you're fine.
No. And so then I think she'd also maybe I don't know.
I mean, shit, yeah, with Fabricate, you've got some options. Yeah, you can build like a small house. I'll say you can, with Fabricate, over 2 short rests, just to make sure you do everything, like meticulously. Let me just go to the player's board. I will say you could build something that looks like this approximately. You might have to source the glass. So it takes 2 short rests because you have to source the glass separately and do that transmutation separately. But you guys look at the player's board, that's kind of what you can see. Something like that. Yeah.
Just a quick point of Voldemort. Did Violet send you anything as to instructions in terms of how to roll? No. Okay. So what I'll probably What I'll probably do is I'll probably just, if Violet wants to, I'll probably just private roleplay that conversation.
Yeah, we can do that.
But you are probably right. She would be upset and angry with me. Yeah.
I'll say that Amalia and Delisa go off to have a private conversation. Don't return for a time, but they do return. You don't get a chance to see the facial expressions. I'll keep it vague. But that is that. Does anyone else wish to do anything for this celebration? Perfect.
I do.
Oh,
I was going to say I do, but I'd rather other people went first. That's what I was waiting for.
Okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Okay. So yeah, I guess Talisa will find Bithynia in amongst this library building escapade.
Bithynia weirdly is like, who makes a house with wheels? Like Terry Crews from that one episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's like building IKEA furniture with this at this point. She's just like covered in.
That is the first thing you actually hear, because she's very quiet when she's walking. You just hear her giggle a little bit, and she kind of just laughs at the fact that you're doing this. Hello, my bee. May I speak to you? I can see you're busy.
And as she looks over her shoulder, kind of like wiping the sawdust off of herself, she will say, yeah, of course, I just trying to build something. Keep my mind busy.
No, it's very you, and that's why I laughed. Takes a lot for me to laugh, but there you are. Yes, I just wanted to talk to you privately about what I shared to the group before.
Mm.
I think given Scotty's question to the group, it made sense to tell them there and then, but I think in another instance I'd have liked to tell you privately before I announce it to the group, but life doesn't work out that way all the time, and here I am now. So I can imagine, like Amalia, like the rest of them, who are confused and saddened and things of that nature. First and foremost, I am sorry. But I'm hoping you can at least understand.
And she'll look at this bungalow that she's met, and then she'll, as you can see, there's like bookshelves, like some like rudimentary built bookshelves, and like a very simple bench in the middle, and she'll guide your hand over to sit with her. She like places her hand, or takes both of your hands and sit around this one book library. And so she's like, she's going to take a breath, we've always had a way with words and music, and being connected with you is actually music to my ears before I physically laid my eyes on you. When we met in that garden, I brought up time and time again, because I always say that, that's when life began for me. And I remember that we had a similar situation after graduation when you said that you were leaving, but a fury of thoughts and feelings, fond thoughts of our adventures and feelings of love and plans for learning and prayers to Afara for building a future that includes safe journeys for both of us while we're apart. Here I am physically building something in the wake of you saying that there will be another distance, if not physically, but life journey wise between us. I think that, whether it was like our mothers and before us, life has a cycle that includes leaving. And while we have our hands in one another, we've been able to hug more than we did in college, albeit a little bit sober over the last few months. it has to come to an end when we say our goodbyes once daybreak happens. And as you can see, like, she's like avoiding eye contact. She's like, you know, a bee will always need a flower, and Theros and every plane beyond seems spacious, yet having a friend living afar will both be the longitude and latitude where part of my heart remains, wherever you are, whether it's on this island or somewhere else. And I guess graduation and today, the only reason, I guess, if I could say I'm happy to say goodbye, is that I know that life will find a way to bring us back together.
She smiles and says, "Are you sure you're not the College of Eloquence bard? That was lovely."
I've been around you long enough to know.
Well, while you might get on my level of eloquence, I would never be on your level of intellect. That is something I am certain of, but you're right. We have been apart before, and we will unfortunately be apart again, but life will always bring us back together. Like you said, the flower needs its bee, and the bee needs its flower. And that's how life goes.
So what do you have planned on this island once we depart?
Well, I eagerly await Lysander himself or whoever he sends with ships and aid, and then we can transport these people who are well in need of some freedom and some life again, and hopefully we can relocate them to places elsewhere on Theros, give them more of a life. This is what I've done for years before I joined Tempest, and is what I'll continue to do. Magalo's tales always spoke to me, and it's an honor to follow in her footsteps. I knew she meant as much to you as she did to me.
Yes. There's so many questions that remain from her that I never got answers to, but maybe that's for the best. But then again, I'm only able to access what I have that's brought to me. So I'm glad that you were able to follow in her footsteps and see things beyond the walls of the Decatia. It seems like you were able to do what was in your heart, and for that I am grateful. Even if it wasn't next to me, I'm glad that you were able to do so, here and beyond.
And you have done the same, my love. I mean, look at what you've accomplished. You possess your own piece of divinity that you have earned. It speaks volumes. And I'm sure you will lead this group to victory in future battles.
Yeah. Yeah, as she sees her, like, she has it on her. She's like, yeah, it is quite interesting. I'd be curious to see what yours is, but I'm sure that in due time, if it's meant to be, and you need to return with us, there will be something equally useful, should we need to align with you again in the future.
I will always be there if you need me. But, like I said, you were all fine without me, and you will still be fine. Even still. But you can always call on me.
Certainly. I'm sure I will. And I'll definitely see if I can't get you for the day that Zoe and I finally get married, if that ever happens. She gets out of lockdown, because there's no one I'd rather have there on that same day.
That is one thing I wish to carry out in life. It would be an honor. You were my first friend, Bithynia, and to officiate that ceremony would mean the world to me, so.
Well, I think that, you have important work here to do, and even if our journey and our paths take us in different directions, I knew one thing was that we wouldn't die here. Now, I never could write a chapter on leaving you behind, but then again, it's not a story that's only written by me and my adventures, it's ours together. And so she will pull out a book where you know that she's written a lot, and so she will bring out a book and she'll hand it to you. If you want, you can include it in the library, but it's all of our adventures that have been penned. Well, I've been writing a book of Zoe and I, a love story. I've also wrote one for friendship. So if you want to include it in the library here, you can.
I mean, I would absolutely do that if that's what you wish, but it seems too sentimental to just leave here. I'd rather keep it on my person.
You can do what you wish with it. We have the memories at the least, so at least we have a written record as well.
Yes. Are you mad at me at all, Bithynia?
No. I was mad at that time that you lost me in the bar, and I was drunk off my ass, and I thought that you were lost, and we were looking for one another, not able to find one another, because I thought you had left. That time I was mad. I was drunk, but I was mad. This time I'm not mad. I understand. Even if I don't necessarily agree with the ideology or having to leave, I understand that we build our community and our cities in different ways, and it's not something that's new. It's not something that's impulsive. It's something that's been thought out before, and it's because of something that is ingrained in your being, your heart, and your passion. And I could not be mad or fault you for following the path that you've followed for years and want to continue with.
That means a great deal to me. This decision wasn't an easy one, I can assure you. But I'm glad that you're not angry with me. I thought you were going to bring up that time where I tried to get into that bar and I used my fake ID. They found out and I got 80-60'd. It was a sad night.
No, I think that you were more mad that you and I were already tanked to the point that you thought that crossing the street and changing your clothes in front of the door and then going back to try to get in again with the same ID didn't work. I think you were more mad at that, but I supported you. I support you now. I supported you then. In both situations, it's a bit questionable, but you know, how else do we learn but by trying?
Yes, that was not the best of disguises. And I think they've come on a long way since then, but you bring back fond memories indeed.
Also, I'd like to point out that while we are similar in size, it probably wasn't the best idea to take my clothes because you were a bit smaller than necessary and a lot more revealing. I think in that moment, maybe they could have let you in, but you looked a little more disheveled than you went in the first time.
I'm going to miss you again.
I will miss you as well, but like the stars that I see when I think of my aunts, you know, I'm just a message away, or there's many ways of keeping in contact. And so I'll be doing it with you. I anticipate that the communication will go both ways.
Yes. And Hilira is always there to send messages, but I'm sure you'll find your own way. You are plenty powerful already.
I'll see if I can't find more books for this library. She's looking around and sees one book on one shelf of the 12 that are around the hut. See if I can't find anything else to put on the shelves.
Well, I mean, in the days that I wait for the ships to arrive, I could look for some books to populate the library, although with the nature of pirates, I do suspect that many of the pages might be stuck together. if you know what I'm saying.
I do. However, we do have one book about a tusk and something on the ship, and it's still fine. So I feel like...
Are you talking about Tusk Love?
Yeah. We could put that in the library.
hate you all
in the...
so much.
You know, we could put that in there. At least there's photos, I think. It's a picture book? You don't have to know all of the words to understand them.
Maybe one day I can compile my own book. Maybe call it the little book of Kama Sutra, and it can contain our many sex positions that we tried in our encounters during college.
She'll nod her head, like put her head towards you. A little book? It's gotta be at least medium or large.
I mean, some of those Johnsons were very large, yes.
Well,
Title of the book, Whore Island.
Well, I'm sure
Continue.
whatever books you find, pages, stuck or otherwise, will be a welcome contribution to the island. A little something for everybody, or a big something, I don't know, whatever they want.
I'll do my best. Are you coming for a drink, or are you finishing up here?
Oh, I'll go for a drink. I've been building all night. Stand up and...
Cool. And I will say that you all drink on and party away, celebrating this monumental chapter closure on your story. Celebrating this ordeal that is now behind you. A good night is had by all. Thought you fill your belly with wine. You show some of your dance moves, and there's a couple of the more, I guess, whatever the ancient Greek equivalent of like punk or like rough around the edges pirate girls who do shoot you a side eye if you so wish.
I mean, listen, it's been a while. I could do with a little bit of rest and R&R if you know what I mean.
Say no more, and the Hecaton Goliath woman literally just palms your like clavicle, hoists you over her shoulder, and doof, doof, doof.
It time snoo snoo.
Yeah, basically. And it's a Hecaton Goliath, so it's 4 arms.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, so many fingers, so little time.
Xanthia, do you wish to do anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more.
I would like to go check in with Hilera.
Maybe lock the doors and turn the lights down low.
Oh, God.
I wish we could play music through Video Ninja.
I mean, there's ways to do it. If like, what do you? There's ways. Maybe I need to have a look at this at some point.
Scottina's just outside.
Oh. Speaking as a fellow DM, Romeo, you do not want to give me that kind of power in your game.
That's fair.
Do it.
Yeah. What is Hilera up to at the moment?
Hilera's probably sitting in a random corner somewhere, just being a sad girl.
No.
I mean, if you like, I can say that she's being a sad girl whilst listening to Aster talk on and on and on, because you'll just tell stories to anyone who listens.
Sure, I'm listening to Aster, and I look pretty sad.
Okay, I'll be making my way over.
And you catch them just as Aster's beginning to say, you know, I was in Akros a long time ago, and they kicked me out. And
Hi.
Seems I've yammered on a little bit too long. No matter. Thank you for entertaining this old man who was just happy to actually enjoy telling stories again for a little bit when it wasn't at the pain of death.
Understandable.
It'll be alright, Helira. I promise.
Okay.
And he stands up and takes his leave.
Is Aster this bad of a storyteller, or why are you looking so glum?
It's just, I'm just a little bit sad that Jalesa's leaving, and I don't know, I can't help but feel a little bit responsible. Because, like, it's the whole, like, Akros thing, and, like, I'm from Akros, and I don't know.
I mean, she specifically mentioned Bakios, but not you, so...
That's true. I already said to Jalesa that I would kick ass, but she didn't want me to.
Well, she doesn't have to know.
That's true. I don't know, maybe, like, Amalia will fight Bakios for Jalesa's honor or something.
Yeah, that could happen, actually. That's... Yeah.
We'll never know.
I'll never know, yeah.
Or we will. We don't know.
I mean, I get it. I'm also really sad about this.
Yeah, you should be, like, double sad. Or, like, triple, or, like, whatever multiples there are. Because, like, you just killed, like, multiple dragons that murdered your family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, weird times. And about that, honestly, I wanted to just apologize for after the fight for putting you on the spot like that. That was not cool. Like, I should have... I didn't want to do things that way. I should have asked. I wasn't thinking. So, okay, you're looking at me all scared. I'm sorry.
Wait, is it like regret I did it kind of thing?
No. I don't regret doing it. Just not doing it the right way.
Is there a right way, though?
I don't know, but this felt like the wrong way.
Well, did you... I don't know, did you, like, mean it? Or was it, like, spur of the moment, like, wow! Lips!
That's the title of Delisa's book. Wow, lips.
I did mean it. But I had like this whole plan in my head of, I don't know, meeting you on the ship at night and like looking out over the sea and then having a nice conversation. You were like, I would like to kiss you if that's okay with you. And then afterwards I wasn't thinking it through. I just did it then, so...
Okay. Well, we're not on a pretty boat right now. I'm not really sure where we are right now. But you've been rambling, and that's usually my thing. So, may I please shut you up by kissing you?
Please.
I kiss at the
Just one kiss?
Just a kiss.
Okay.
Lipa plays in the background.
And you two share a tender kiss. Well, what do you do for the rest of the evening?
Probably
I'll ask Hilera if she wants to dance.
to dance.
Xanthia, make a dexterity check.
Hold on, I got this.
The DC is 2.
Rolled a 17 for a total of 16.
Hey! I was just hoping for a 0.
Ow!
All right. You guys dance the night away. And until you're all very sleepy and very full of wine in your bellies. And I don't know why the character card thing is still on your level 12, but it doesn't matter. We'll fix that. That's like the last thing to be concerned about. Put that aside. And you all retire to your respective beds. Some of you elect to share a hammock, even if it's just a cuddle. If you so desire, it's up to you. But when all is said and done, the next morning, you pick up sticks and load everything you need to on the ship. Belmos basically... Honestly, he's just counting his lucky stars, mainly. So he's like, helps you guys get everything on board. I assume you try to conceal the nature of the golden crates. He gives you guys a side eye, but purposefully doesn't ask questions. Well, it's been real, fucksticks. Thanks for everything. Good luck with saving the world.
Oh yeah, we still got to do that, haven't we? Fuck.
Listen, I thought it was damn near impossible to kill that big blue bitch. But you did it. Anybody's gonna do it, it's you assholes.
Well, it's been real, but
Been real, sugar tits, and he just punches you on the shoulder, Helena, in like a friendly way. Thump. Just walks away.
Ass.
Amalia kind of looks over and just goes, Can I kill him now?
Please do.
No.
I'm getting mixed messages. She does not.
Scotinos hears a whisper in his ear, and it's Delisa, and she says, "Don't worry. I'll take care of that."
After he helped you guys so much.
You guys, where are your morals?
I kind of just listen to it, like I don't say anything to everyone, but I kind of just yeah, I kind of expected that, I suppose. Right.
Poor Belmos.
Yeah.
Sold out his entire lifestyle for you guys.
And now he's dead.
Pirate life, eh? Do we see Delessa on the shore?
Yeah,
is there like a jetty, like a?
No, yeah, there's a jetty. There was it's a shore. It's like a beach. But yeah, no, what I was gonna say was 1 second. And as you cast off, you see Delisa as she waves from the beach. Delisa, you wave at them. And you feel a hand on your shoulder. And you turn and you see Amarante. About like 2 feet taller than you. She's a goddess after all, but she stands there and looks out as well. And then she looks down at you. You've done beautifully, my dear.
Thank you.
And your love will cross oceans. You'll see them again.
I hope so. My heart longs for it.
Such is the burden of what it is to love. To always ache on some level. But nothing worth having never leaves you truly without ache.
Have I done you proud, my lady?
I was always proud of you, Delisa. Now I'm simply beside myself.
You have always been there, watching over me in my ear. I don't contemplate the reasons why, nor do I ponder them, but I appreciate.
I know you have many questions, my dear. Come, sit. Much troubles your mind. I think it's time I alleviate some of that burden. You've discovered much already. As the age of tracks fell, the Archons were scattered to the four winds. One of them, a proud lady Archon, crashed upon an island. Through various reasons and my influence, she would spend countless eons there, or countless years, and abandoned her tyrannical ways, became a guardian of nature, of the island itself, preserving the flowers and the fruits and the plants. It was her haven, a paradise. She had found redemption. A former celestial tyrant turned grove guardian of Amaranthe. Who would have thought? Until a mortal man washed up on shore. They fell in love. You're the product of that love, Delisa. Your father was a mortal man from Delathon, and your mother was an Archon. I kept it from you because I wanted you to make the choice of who you wish to be, all on your own. The greatest impetus is the one that comes from the heart, not one that comes from our circumstance. I understand if you hate me for keeping that secret. I would stand by my assertion that I thought it was ultimately allowed you to flourish of your own accord, not merely feel like you had to live up to something, or run away from something, perhaps.
I would never hate you, my lady, and I completely understand your motives. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for telling me now. Are my parents still alive?
Your mother died of a broken heart to bring you into this world alone, after your father had to return. Your father ultimately succumbed to sickness many, many years later.
Were they good people?
They were. Not always, but they flourished and they changed, and your mother above all else showed that love is real, and love can always win over hate. And Hakon turned disciple of love. Now that is a real miracle. And as the two of you remain there on the island, we're gonna end tonight's session there. I hope it's alright, Sammy. I thought that would be a good lore drop note to close out on.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Thank you so much to our wonderful audience, as always. I really appreciate everyone who tunes in all the time. And as always, couldn't do this without my wonderful players. Tamara. My wonderful Tamara. Would you like to tell these folks about yourself?
Hi, you can find me on the internet. You can find me on Twitter and on TikTok at mar_innated, and on Instagram, you just gotta put in it's in front. That's me.
Very well. Ali, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram under @AngelUndies. I do cosplay and 3D printing commissions, predominantly weapons and D&D minis, so check me out if you want anything made there.
Awesome. Virla, would you like to do your little short, sweet?
I have Instagram. It's Violet.Louisa with an E at the end.
Morse, anything you want to tell these folks about?
I don't know what social media is, but come here next weekend and we shall have some more fun.
Rebecca, would you like to tell these folks about yourself?
You can find me here every other week, and then you can find me everywhere online at BombClanC or on TikTok, Mimic for Hire or Sire for Hire, whether it's D&D/TTRPG on the one account or VTM exclusive stuff on the other account.
Copy. And finally, Sammy. Oh, wonderful Sammy. Would you like to close us out?
Yeah, I don't want to plug anything. I just want to say thanks. First to Romeo for inviting me to the Decadia one-shot way back when, and then inviting me to guest on the main campaign, and then eventually keeping me on. That meant a lot to me, because as a viewer, I could see how good this campaign was, how good the players were, and to be a part of that storyline in a direct way, it meant a lot. So thank you, and thank you for that ending. That was lovely. I also want to say thank you to Rebecca for just reaching out at the early stages, and just all them calls and messages we sent back and forward to kind of flesh out Delisa and Bithynia's backstory together. That also meant a lot, because it made Delisa what she is to me, but it also meant a lot to me as a person, because it just helped me feel a part of the group much more quickly. It made Delisa felt part of Tempest more quickly. And that goes a long way when you're joining a pre-established group like this. So thank you for that, and thank you for those lovely words in character. I also want to apologize to Morse, because because me and Moss kind of had to sit down a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of went back and forward on some ideas for a campaign to like duo set of characters, and we had some really good discussions and some ideas, and I think we settled on two really good characters. So I'm just sorry that that's not going to come to fruition, and I just want to thank you for the time, and to all of you. You're all amazing players, and yeah, I wish nothing for the best in terms of finishing out this campaign and going forward. So thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful finish, Sammy. I think I'm gonna leave it there for this evening. But I think we got time for a little raid. Shall we visit our favorite little... VTM's not gonna be online for a hot minute, is it?
No, but Tara's online.
Raid channel Tara?
Yeah.
What's this?
Tera.
Playing War Thunder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Starting right now. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, our wonderful audience. We appreciate you, we feel the love, and you are loved. We are DC30.